the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas from Studio A. It all starts right now.
Hello and welcome everyone. It's Wednesday, May 7th, and you're tuned into the ultimate destination for all things lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm Jimenita Swain, and you're watching What's Trending, the show where we bring you the latest trends, hottest news, and insider tips on living your best life. Whether you're here for fashion, food, fitness, or the latest buzz from social media, we've got you covered. Let's dive in. All eyes are on the Vatican as the 2025 Papal Conclave kicks off. 133 cardinals are locked in the Sistine Chapel casting secret ballots to choose the next pope. 89 votes are needed to win. The process ancient and dramatic. Black smoke means no decision. White smoke, we've got a new pope. Top contenders, Italy's Pietro Parolin, the Philippines' Luis Tagle, and Hungary's Peter Edro. The world watches and waits for what, or rather, that white smoke. While thinking of heading to Canada, mark your calendars from May 22nd to 24th. The Consulate of Canada in Nassau will be offering biometric collection services, a key step for Bahamians applying for Canadian visas, work or study permits, and permanent residency. But here's the catch. You must already have a biometric instruction letter and book an appointment by May 15th. No letter, no appointment, no exceptions. To lock in your spot, email info@cdnbahamas.com. Space is limited, so act fast. First come, first serve. And it's International Cosmopolitan Day. Yes, we're talking cocktails. The iconic pink drink made famous by Sex and the City gets its own spotlight today. First stirred up in the 80s and shaken to stardom in the 90s, the Cosmo mixes vodka, cranberry, triple sec, and a splash of lime. So, how do you celebrate? Easy. Slip into something pink, hit up a happy hour, or shake one up at home. Either way, it's the perfect excuse to toast to a little glam in your glass. Coming up in the show, we're shedding light on lupus, an autoimmune condition, and the need to create greater awareness in the Bahamian society. Also, this Saturday, the country will pay homage to those killed in the HMBS Flamingo bombing back in 1980. Today, Captain Fernley Palmer recalls the tragedy with us. That and so much more on the other side of the break. You're watching What's Trending.
Good to grow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, if it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. If it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Some 20 years ago, Randall Roll hung up his tools and walked away from his job as a plumber to follow his father's footsteps straight into the fields. Today, that bold leap of faith has blossomed into PJ's Farm, an agricultural haven in Exuma specializing in sugarcane, papayas, mangoes, and much more.
After working off, I came back and there wasn't like no farm produce or anything like that. So I said, we have a lot of land, why not make use of it? And I decided not to travel anymore, just stay and do something. And I just get into the farming, just from one thing to lead to the next.
But Roll's mission goes far beyond produce. He's now focused on inspiring a new generation of Bahamians to take up farming and give him some much-needed help on the farm.
My hopes is to get some youngsters in there to continue it. With me right now, with no help, everything is to get the young people to understand and join in with it.
And as the country makes efforts to reduce is import bill, he sends this advice to farmers across the nation.
Try to produce 90% and or 10%. And it makes us a great country.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
diet-friendly special.
Did you know you could send a local bank transfer to a $1 wallet? It's the same as sending a transfer to an account at another local bank. Simply use the wallet's 12-digit top-up address as the account number, savings as the account type, Central Bank of the Bahamas as the bank, and $1 as the branch with branch code or transit number 12,000. Don't use urgent or priority delivery. Transfers to $1 wallets are processed through the Bahamas Automated Clearinghouse Network within 1 business day.
You've got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
Lupus is a chronic autoimmune disease where the immune system attacks the body's healthy tissues and organs. Globally, it's estimated that approximately 5 million people are living with some form of lupus, including systemic lupus, the most common and severe type. In the Bahamas, the advocacy group Lupus 242 has been lobbying over the years for greater awareness and education, promoting lupus and the need for proper diagnosis. In studio with us today are the president of Lupus 242, Shaunalee Johnson, and Nurse Marisha Campbell, Assistant Manager, Clinical Care at Bahama Health. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here with us. So we're going to start with you, Shaunalee. Lupus 242 has been pushing for quite some time to sensitize the public about this ailment. What inroads or impact do you feel that the organization has made?
Right, so over the past 12 years, I believe that we have made inroads. I believe that there is a greater level of awareness, but there's more work to be done. And so our group is focused on awareness, but also the education of our members as well. And so that's very important when managing something as complicated as lupus.
And that's definitely key. So what challenges are you encountering when it comes to this education and the diagnosis of lupus?
Yeah, so a part of the education is that people really don't understand the illness to a great extent. And then persons with lupus typically you can't really see it, you know, when you are actually interacting with them. So it's a sensitivity thing where people need to just be a little bit more sensitive when they encounter somebody with lupus. And as far as diagnosis, typically lupus diagnosis it takes several years if you don't have a family member with the illness. And so diagnosis takes a long time. And so being a part of the education is, you know, for people to consider if they're ailing, that I could possibly have lupus.
Are you able to share with us how widespread lupus is in our society? Do we have data to back that up?
We don't have the specific data. However, we do, we know that there are more diagnoses every year, just based on the actual, rheumatologists who are working in this space. And so we know that every year we have more persons coming forward or being diagnosed with the illness.
That's interesting. And also we know that treatment and care can be expensive. So what support is available locally for patients?
Yeah, so as far as the local support, as a group, especially during the month of Wave, we try to raise awareness and also raise funds for our members so that we can support them, and even if it's in a small way, to offset some of the cost of fighting something like lupus. But we also want to push for medications for things like lupus to be put on the public health plan so that makes it more affordable for our members.
Makes sense there. And so we're going to bring you into the discussion now, Nurse Campbell. Yes. You are in health insurance. So what encounters and challenges can you share about lupus locally that you've seen?
Yes. So I would say that for the most part, lupus, like other chronic diseases, persons are not really aware And so education, we find, is key. And Bahama Health is a proud sponsor of the Lupus 242 Talk this year. This is actually our third year sponsoring this initiative because this is in keeping with our goal as a leading health insurance company. Although we provide that healthcare aspect, we also want to make sure that persons are educated about the diseases, not just lupus, but there are other chronic diseases. But education and awareness is one of the things that we really harp on.
And I think, Jonathan, you recently had a conference to promote what you're doing in country. So talk to us a little bit about that conclave and its impact.
Yeah, sure. So last weekend, the Caribbean Association for Rheumatology, they had their major conference here. This is the 15th annual version of it. And it was the regional rheumatologists and also global who would have come to Nassau just to discuss new research, new treatment options, and just basically a way to educate other physicians about lupus and other diseases that impact, that are served by rheumatology.
So that was a good boost, obviously, for what you're trying to do in terms of raising
Definitely,
awareness.
yes.
And again, with you, Nurse Campbell, from your interactions with your clients, what are some of the biggest concerns some of these individuals may say that they have or face?
I would say, as Ms. King would have alluded to earlier, treatment options. The treatment for lupus is very expensive. You would find, even in the research, that they're still trying to find ways to, well, in terms of new developments to treat the disease and to treat the condition. It is very debilitating, and so you would have various aspects. The kidneys are affected, you have the skin that is affected, the circulatory system, and so these are some of the challenges that I would have seen, not just from the insurance aspect, but from the healthcare and case management aspect that I would have seen that our patients are experiencing.
Understandable. And Shonali, we know that this month you have some activities planned, so share them with us.
Yes, so every Friday in the month, we're asking persons to put on their purple and tell people why. That's a part of our awareness drive. We also know that Saturday, May 10th, is World Lupus Day, as declared by the Prime Minister in this country, and so we recognize that day and the persons who are living with lupus and also those who were lost to lupus. And then on the 17th of this month, we are having the health talk that is sponsored, our Lupus 242 Health Talk, that is sponsored by Bahama Health, and that takes place at Holy Cross from 1 to 3 p.m. And that's an opportunity, again, for our members to educate themselves. The public can come out and be educated as well, but we'll have some rheumatologists, and we'll also have a dentist on to talk about lupus and oral health, because every aspect of, care revolves around your diagnosis with lupus, and you have to be cognizant of that.
And how can the public get involved with Lupus 242?
Sure, we're everywhere at Lupus 242, so lupus242.org. We're on Facebook, we're on IG. You can find us and get more information.
And so is there any good news or breakthrough initiatives regarding lupus that you can share with the wider society or even persons battling the ailment?
Right, so as far as us locally, I love the fact that we had the regional thought leaders related to this particular, condition in the country. And so I think, regionally, there's a lot of work that can be done, and I think us having the conference here was important, and we can push that forward.
That sounds good. Well, we thank you so much, Shonali and Marisha, for joining us on What's Trending today. And of course, much success to you in your future endeavors to educate the public about lupus and all of the concerns associated with it. And obviously, have a great month of activities.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
Well, we'll reflect on an unforgettable era which rocked the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and the families of 4 Marines when What's Trending returns.
Hey, honey! You got no message for me yet? Can I tell you why I get no money? At least not yet. I get my money. Managers. Oh, and I done upload it.
Hello, Miss Daisy. Your check is ready.
Thanks. I got it. I come for that little thing. You got it?
Money managers, responsible lenders for responsible people.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
You've got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
One of those defining moments in Bahamian history. And this coming Saturday, the nation will once again pause to reflect on the sinking of the HMBS Flamingo. The Bahamian vessel was attacked by Cuban MiG fighter jets back on May 10th, 1980. That tragedy gripped the attention of the region and the world. 4 Bahamian Marines, Fenric Stirrup, Austin Smith, David Tucker, and Edward Williams were killed. The young Marines were new recruits. Some of them were members of the Boys Brigade, an organization being steered by Captain Fernley Palmer. 45 years later, Captain Palmer reflects on that day with us and the reaction to the tragedy. May 10th, 1980 is a solemn chapter in Bahamian history, the sinking of the HMBS Flamingo. For Captain Fernley Palmer, the tragedy hit close to home, claiming the lives of young men he mentored and knew personally. You had a personal connection to 2 of the men that were killed in the 1980 HMBS Flamingo incident.
Yes.
Can you tell us about who they were and a little bit about them?
First of all, I go to Captain or the Deputy Police Commissioner Lawrence Major, who was a deacon in Zion Baptist Church on the corner of Eastern Shirley Streets. And he was in charge of the Marine Department. At that time, they called it of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, who later turned over, I believe, to the Defense Force. So being a deacon in Zion Church, he knew the boys. And when he was recruiting for the Defense Force, he had 2 boys in the Boys Brigade come to himself. And I had quite a bit of boys. So it was easy for Deacon Lawrence Major then to recruit the boys right from Zion, because the boys could drill. They tighten up on the Defense Force, but they could drill, they could take orders, and they could do that. That is how the boys from the 14th Company got a jump, what I'll call a jump, on the other boys throughout the New Providence or from wherever to join the Defense Force.
So what goes through your mind now, decades later, when you reflect on that day?
Oh, yeah, I think about them. Just think about them. How I recommend them. Maybe for the death. I recommend them.
Well, at the time, you thought they were good men, and you thought that they would serve their country well.
Yeah, for the betterment for the country.
How do you think that incident, the sinking of the HMBS Flamingo, how do you think that shaped the Defense Force? Because I know the Defense Force was newly formed.
Yeah.
So how do you think it shaped that and the Bahamian society at that time back in 1980?
Yeah, it didn't shape too good, because later Dud Maynard, who was, I think, chairman of the PLP or one of the chairmans, we organized a protest and went on. The then post office was now broken on East Hill Street. Then we marched as a protest. The very first year after that, to say that we protest against what was happening here. But the whole general public at that time the whole country was sorrowful because we didn't think, or I personally didn't think it was necessary for us to be attacked. So it always hit home to me on that day. Yeah.
So the protest was against the incident itself in terms of, because it was the Cuban MiG fighters?
Yeah, I think the protest was against the Cuban MiG fighters, not, yeah. But, in my words at that time, take advantage, because they are military people. We were just trying to get a defense force to come up. And they were very strict, but you know, military people.
So how did the Boys Brigade community respond in wake of the tragedy? What was the reaction of the Boys Brigade after the HMBS Flamingo incident?
Yeah, the Boys Brigade, in particular the 14th Company, we do a little celebration, a little prayer and so forth for the boys. But the Boys Brigade in the whole was, didn't take it very light. And Captain Henry Curry from the 23rd Company, St. Barnabas Church, yeah, I think he had some boys on that boat as well.
So even years later, is there a moment that you remember that brings you comfort, even though this was a heartbreaking incident? Did you take any comfort?
I pause and just say a prayer and just pause and maybe crazy to myself, but I stand at attention at ease for about 3 minutes. That's my own personal thing. Everything of me. I just stand up in respect to those boys who I signed.
Looking back at the Defense Force then, because it was in its infancy to where it is now, do you think it's much stronger?
Oh yeah, no comparison.
Because that was a difficult pill to swallow at that time.
Yeah.
And to now.
Yeah, no comparison between then and now. No comparison with the Defense Force. No, I've seen it grown from until what it is presently today. I've seen it grown. See the Defense Force. And I have many boys on the Defense Force.
Well, today, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force finds itself at a pivotal moment in its development. The force has grown in manpower and has expanded its reach in guarding and protecting Bahamian borders. Also, a new Commodore takes over the Defense Force tomorrow, marking yet another key moment in history.
If you would like to be a part of What's Trending, DM us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS.
Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of flood protection products. Our flood protection products are specifically designed to work together in order to create multiple layers of super strong protection. All these windows, doors, seams, and openings have all been sealed up tight. Now there's a new way to protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters. Get the removable Flex Seal family of flood protection products.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
For us at the Myers Group of restaurants, we found that we have a pretty large portion of our employment pool that had difficulty getting bank accounts.
The issue we had previously was just getting cash, getting funds on the island. And with only one working ATM, the idea of the sand dollar just in being digital, and everybody has a smartphone nowadays, it actually worked into our favor.
The sand dollar was like a godsend because it allowed us to add it to our payroll system, which means we're able to send their money to the sand dollar wallet.
It's still a bank transfer because you get an account number. So from the employer side of things, all I have to do is send your funds just as usual.
It opens up our pool for us to be able to hire some of the people that we couldn't hire before because they were unable to open bank accounts. This has been a really good solution.
When it comes to redefining the cocktail experience, Hennessy is making bold moves in the Bahamas. With its Made for More campaign, the brand isn't just serving up premium pours, it's serving purpose, passion, and powerful partnerships.
We caught up with Parise Johnson, the brand manager for Moët and Hennessy at Commonwealth Brewery Limited, to dive deeper into the bold and inspiring Hennessy Made for More campaign. Parise highlighted just how important it was to have Jordan Bushell, Hennessy's global ambassador, touch down here in the Bahamas.
Jordan Bushell, who is Hennessy's global ambassador, he was invited to the Bahamas for the very first time to spend time with us at Commonwealth Brewery as well as some of our beverage partners. And it was important for us to do that because we are engaging in our newest campaign, Made for More, which is based in mixology, and we wanted to expand the thinking and the perception of Hennessy, not just VS, but also to include VSOP, Hennessy Pure White, Hennessy XO, even considering Paradise as well. So Made for More is not your typical 3-month or like a couple week or just a happy hour activation or initiative for us. Made for More is a chance for us to touch consumers and to grow with them and to meet them where they are on their journey with Hennessy and with cognac in general.
It's all about using Hennessy in bold, unconventional ways that push the boundaries of tradition. Because Made for More isn't just about what's in the glass. It's about the people behind the bar, the culture they represent, and the bold new ways they're bringing Hennessy to the forefront.
It was very important for us to not only get buy-in from our industry partners, but also the bartenders, the mixologists, those that touch and feel the product, those that interact with consumers on a daily basis, because once we get them excited, once we get their buy-in and we get their interest, that translates into their work and the drinks that they can put forth, and also the conversations that they have with consumers as well.
And it's not stopping in Nassau.
Well, of course, our training started here in New Providence, and as mentioned, we, as CBL, our staff and our sales team, were empowered with the information to carry it out to our various partners. The great thing about Commonwealth Brewery and 700 Wines and Spirits is we expand into the Family Islands as well. So though we started here, we have amazing plans to ensure that that information gets to the family of islands, and we're able to show up not just in restaurants and in bars, but also in accounts where you pick up a bottle of Hennessy so that you can enjoy it wherever you intend to.
Made for More isn't just a campaign. It's a commitment to elevate the entire Bahamian cocktail culture, one pour at a time.
Diet-friendly special.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
And that's how we wrap up another trending day. Thanks for hanging out with us here on What's Trending. Now, there's no What's Trending tomorrow, but you can tune into live coverage of the handing over ceremony for the new Commodore at 9:30 a.m. on the ZNS network. Remember, the conversation never stops. Catch up with us on Instagram at What's Trending ZNS. Share your thoughts and let us know what you think should be trending next. We'll be back on Monday at 6 p.m. with more headlines, highlights, and heat. Until then, stay curious and most of all, stay connected.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition has a look at stories making news tonight.
Police siege a large quantity of drugs on Grand Bahama. Now the search is on for those responsible. Also, residents speak out against issues surrounding the Lewathon BOS terminal. And a South Bahamian resident's vehicle is broken into. Now she's urging her neighbors to stay alert.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping news, the search is on for the owners of a large quantity of drugs after yet another large drug bust on Grand Bahama, this time in a residential community around 8:20 p.m. Wednesday. Police say they were acting on information when they made the find. Cleopatra Murphy has tonight's top story.
Police in Grand Bahama made a significant drug find, recovering more than $100,000 in suspected marijuana from an abandoned vehicle in North Bahamia overnight.
The Rapid Response Unit went to the area of North Bahamia, where their attention was drawn to a Chevy Malibu derelict vehicle, no plates attached. Officers checked the vehicle, where they discovered 2 suitcases inside the interior of this vehicle. The officers opened the suitcase, where they found several assortment of brown wrapped packages inside of the suitcase.
83 packages to be exact, and enclosed in them an estimated 165 pounds of marijuana with an estimated street value of $165,000. Officer in charge of crime operations for the Northern Bahamas, Chief Superintendent Will Hart, says the vehicle and drugs found on Ellis Lightfoot Avenue are now in police custody as they continue investigations.
No arrest has been made at this time, but I assure you, this is an active investigation, which we're hopeful that we'll conclude very shortly.
Following this latest drug bust, Hart has this advice for the culprits.
It is recommended that those persons who are responsible or have any information of how these drugs got into the vehicle to turn yourself in to the nearest police station. We assure you, members of the public, that the Royal Bahamas Police Force remains steadfast in keeping you safe. This seizure is a clear indication that we will ensure the Bahamian people, the decent Bahamian people, that they will not be disrupted by this form of drugs.
Hart says police remain steadfast in their efforts to rid the Bahamas of illegal drugs. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Just one station.
Serious concerns tonight from residents in East Grand Bahama about the operations of Lewathon BOS Terminal, the company that took over from Equinor South Riding Point in 2023. Following reports of a fuel leak at the facility, residents are now voicing frustrations over foul odors, poor communication, and fears tied to the type of oil being stored at the site. More details in this report.
It's not an attack on the company. We just want clarity. We want to know that our community is safe and that our family members who work on these sites are safe.
It's a growing unease in East Grand Bahama. Residents there say the new oil terminal operation at Lewathon BOS is raising red flags, from strong unexplained odors to a lack of direct updates from the company. The situation has some residents on edge.
We have a concern with the smell, the odor, foul odor that's coming from the terminal. And then we're hearing complaints of what exactly it is that they're storing. And so we're not quite sure on exactly what the facility is holding, whether it's crude oil, whether it's fine diesel or gasoline. So there's just a lot of unsurety, and then we don't know how safe it really is.
Access to the boat ramp in High Rock, a lifeline for many local fishermen, has also been restricted. It is an issue they hoped would be addressed when Lewathon officially took over the South Riding Point facility from Equinor in mid-2023. And while the company has created jobs in the area, some residents feel the benefits haven't trickled down enough. They're calling for more investment into the local community.
I personally feel as though they have not been a good corporate citizen as far as trying to help to improve the environment that they, especially over the recent time, began to degrade.
I would like to see them do more for the community, such as the beach out here, at least once a month. Clean up the clean up campaign, clean up the beach, and stuff like that, and even with the school. They make all the money here. I'll put some back to show appreciation.
Calls are now growing for elected officials to speak out.
These people are making millions of dollars next door, and look at the seawall. It is a very, very sad situation. Our leaders have to get involved, okay? Mr. Thompson, I respect highly, have to get involved. They gotta speak out. They have to stop.
All that tank, all that stuff blew away. And the conclusion was there was no environmental impact on there.
You didn't believe that?
You know, I know. And the soldiers who crawled the road know that it had to be environmental impact. You can still see indications of the oil that is draining down the tanks. And if there were no impact, why was all that Dayton oil moved and dumped on the north side, where the rest of that went?
Northern Service team reported claims of a fuel leak at the Lewathon property. According to sources, the alleged leak resulted from a rupture in a pipeline located on land. The Ministry of Environment releasing this statement on Wednesday. The statement reads in part, "We at the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources were made aware of a possible environmental infraction at the Lewathon facility, formerly Equinor South Riding Point in East End, Grand Bahama." The statement continues, "Our oil spill expert with the ministry has been dispatched to East End and is currently on the ground assessing the situation. We await the findings of the assessment and the recommendation."
Well, the Department of Environment visiting Lewathon BOS today following concerns from the community. Lewathon BOS LLC releasing a press statement today reaffirming its cooperation with the department. According to the statement, this underscores the company's commitment to transparency, environmental safety, and strict regulatory compliance. On the 7th of July 2023, representatives from Lewathon BOS LLC met with officials from the DEH, including the director and regulator. All parties agreed to maintain open channels of communication, introduce regular reporting, and facilitate frequent inspections of the terminal following the change in ownership. The statement goes on to say that since the agreement, DEH officials have carried out several inspections of the facility, most recently today, and have raised no concerns or observations of non-compliance. The Department of Health is fully apprised of the matters outlined above, and any inquiries should be directed to the department. Lewathon's statement concludes that the company will continue to keep the Department of Health fully informed of its operational activities and will report any incident immediately. A South Bahamia resident is speaking out and urging neighbors to remain vigilant after her vehicle was broken into early Monday morning. Shalia Roll reports.
A shocking discovery of work-related items, including a waffle maker and a glass one-burner stove, leaves Ileana Neely cautioning residents of car break-ins in the community. She came to the realization as she was unloading her car as she arrived to work on the morning of May 4th, 2025. This prompting her to check camera footage. Neely saw that an unknown man with a shirt covering his face in her car.
When it was time to get to work and to go to work, I got up to continue to pack the other items into the car and went off to work. And as I began to load off the items, I realized that 2 of my items were missing. One being a burner, a single burner that's a glass top that I had just purchased, and a new waffle maker that I had just purchased was missing. So
Upon reviewing camera footage, she alerted community members, leaving them to check their cameras. Her neighbors then told her that they were also victims in months prior.
Talked to the neighbors. I got videos too of him leaving the corner from the neighbors, and apparently it happened last year a few times to 3 different neighbors. So yeah, it was happening through the corner before last year.
Neely says that this act leaves her feeling violated.
Everybody is working hard, struggling, trying to make ends meet. So for someone to come and take something from you without asking, it makes you feel quite violated.
She's now cautioning everyone in the community to lock their car doors.
The only thing we can do now is lock your cars. I guess after a while you get comfortable because you know everybody around, but you have to lock your cars and be vigilant of people walking through your neighborhood. Be mindful, of your surroundings.
Now, police officials say if you have any information on this case, you can contact the nearest police station. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll.
And still to come.
The Godfrey R. Williams Foundation celebrating unsung heroes at the 3rd Rising Voices Awards. All that, sports, and more when we come back.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Grand Lacayan invites everyone to the biggest and most elaborate Mother's Day Sunday brunch happening May 11th in the Grand Ballroom. Enjoy live music, food stations, giveaways, and special performances. Tickets are on sale now at the lobby. Call 373-1383 for more information. Don't miss the 25% Mother's Day sale at Park & Shop this May 8th, 9th, and 10th, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, including underwear. Calling all singers, musicians, songwriters, and music producers from Grand Bahama. The Ministry for Grand Bahama invites you to enter the Welcoming Home Grand Expo Song Competition. Win $5,000 for first, $3,000 for second, and $2,000 for third. Go to ministryforgb.com for competition eligibility and guidelines. Looking for unbeatable tech deals? Foresight IT Professionals has desktops from $298, laptops from $238, POS systems from $498, CCTV systems from $298, tablets from $148, and more. Call 602-0946 or visit number 11 4-Way Co-op Plaza today. Signature Furniture's Mother's Day sale is on. Get 20% off selected items May 8th through the 10th. Visit them on West Atlantic Drive in the Emerald Building. Browse, select, and collect. Call 688-4000.
A new era is dawning in Grand Bahama. And opportunity, it's knocking louder than ever. Introducing Tract B, Bahama Reef Yacht and Country Club, Unit 1. A prime corner commercial property, footsteps from the Port Lacaya Marketplace, crystal clear waters and white sandy beaches. This expansive 4.8-acre tract is zoned for commercial and multi-use development. Envision a thriving restaurant, a boutique hotel, or an entertainment hub unique to your vision come to life. You can live, work, play, and learn in paradise when you seize this rare opportunity today. Collaborate with DEFCO and let's shape the future of Grand Bahama Island together.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. The Godfrey R. Williams Foundation hosting its 3rd edition of the Rising Voices Awards on May 2nd at Jubilee Cathedral. The evening highlighting a number of leaders on Grand Bahama that have been servicing the nation in that respective roles. Our Jay Philippe was there and filed the details in this report.
It was standing room only as 36 persons throughout Grand Bahama were honored at the 2025 Rising Voices Awards ceremony. Also, 6 persons were recognized as champions of legacy for their long-serving influence as nation builders over the years. The honorees range from a multitude of professions, including education, engineering, health and wellness, public service, justice and advocacy, and even entrepreneurship. Family, friends, and supporters filled the room as they cheered on the honorees. The evening program included musical selections, bringing special remarks as the keynote speaker was Emil Simonet.
To this wonderful group of honorees, I know that you have worked hard as well. And tonight signifies this, as you are among the Champions of Legacy Award recipients and Rising Voices being singled out by the Godfrey R. Williams Foundation. I congratulate you on this outstanding achievement, and yet God's plan is for you to excel beyond where you are at this present time.
Established in 2022 by the Godfrey R. Williams Foundation, the Rising Voices Award shines a spotlight on unsung everyday champions who are making an impact on our community.
This year, the foundation has taken on a great challenge. And what they've endeavored to do is, one, to assist the Rotary Club of Grand Bahama to purchase an incubator.
According to Bishop Godfrey R. Williams, the individuals being honored embodied the spirit of resilience, community, and legacy, each leaving a lasting imprint through their unwavering efforts.
We are so honored for you accepting this great honor.
The night ended with the presentation of awards and many photo opportunities for those that were honored, along with their supporters. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jay Philippe.
Well, as Child Abuse Prevention Month continues to be recognized around the world throughout April, the Family Empowerment Youth Mentoring Organization hosting its Epidemic of Child Abuse seminar on Saturday at the Holman Christian Center. The event focused on identifying signs of abuse, understanding risk factors, and exploring solutions to combat child abuse. Wayne Carey, founder of the Family Empowerment Youth Mentoring Organization, expressing his excitement over the seminar's success, emphasizing that the collective efforts of residents and community leaders are crucial in addressing the issue. Pastor Rudy Roberts, also in attendance, offering his support to his spiritual son.
This year was actually helping our attendees to understand the movements of the perpetrator, the movement of the predator, so that they can understand it, because the predator, he looks just like me. He's going to come, he's going to be a part of everything, and so he plays the role as, you know, being nice, helping you out, but at the same time, he has an ulterior motive.
This conference is so needed. You know, to be honest with you, it is the key for deliverance in all ministries.
Presenters included Assistant Superintendent of Police and Officer in charge of the Domestic Violence Unit, Miriam Archer, along with Brenna May Cooper, founder of the Vessels of Purpose Elite Mentoring Program, both speaking on the widespread issue and outlining the legal steps individuals can take when faced with such situations.
I addressed the audience on the different aspects as relate to neglect, which involves children wandering about, children exposed to harmful environments, children being given intoxicating liquor or anything of that sort.
When I would have opened my presentation, I asked a simple question, which was, if your child or the children that you have care and responsibility for is nonverbal, they could not speak, how would you know that they're being harmed? And of course, persons would have given some awesome answers. And basically, it came from nonverbal cues. So it's depending on with the type of abuses that we are addressing, the indicator is applicable to that particular type of abuse.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay is up next in sports. But first, a look at the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Grand Bahama, for one day only at Dolly Madison on May 10th, get 30% off all Mother's Day items. That's aisles 7, 8, and 9 from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Get your 30% off voucher. You have until 3 p.m. only to use that 30% off voucher. But from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., get 25% off the same aisle. From houseware to bathroom to bedroom, even lawn and garden to fishing to automotive. Happy Mother's Day. But starting now, spend $100 or more and fill out your ticket for a chance to win a Mother's Day basket. Mother's Day fever is taking over at Dolly Madison.
Here at Island Bedding, we provide Bahamians a local option for factory direct quality sleep products. We have also expanded to include a range of furniture and home accessories. Check out our new living room pieces, including sectional, TV stands, accent tables, and more. Come on down to Island Bedding and feast your eyes on prices you have to see to believe. Located at number 5 Queens Highway, across from Caribbean Veterinarian.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
The Ministry for Grand Bahama invites residents and Grand Bahamians everywhere to unite and celebrate our beautiful island in grand style at the Welcoming Home Grand Expo, July 2nd through 10th. It's a week of events that you cannot miss. Save the date and get ready for Welcoming Home.
Celebrate the incredible women in your life this Mother's Day, and don't forget the special offer from Comment Bahamas. April 16th to May 16th, enjoy a fantastic 35% off store-wide. That's right, everything you need to show your love and appreciation is on sale. Whether it's a heartfelt gift for mom, a treat for yourself, or something special for that amazing woman in your life, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit any one of our stores today. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable with Comment Bahamas.
Get a jump on your health and fitness goals with the Fitness Connections Transformation Challenge. We've already helped hundreds of people get closer to their health and fitness goals and achieve awesome results like you see here. You can scan the QR code to find out more. But let me tell you what all comes with the challenge. One, you get 20% off coupons to the Fitness Connection every 2 weeks. You get coaching calls with us on Zoom. You get accountability, us checking in on you. And you also get the chance to win $1,000 and other prizes if you are the winner. So what do you have to lose? $50, you can have a chance to win $1,000 and get the body of your dreams. So scan the code now, sign up. We're here to help you.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. Top in Sports, the 21st annual Darrell Sayers Basketball Showcase is scheduled for next weekend, May 16 to the 28th at the St. George's Gymnasium. The invite-only showcase will feature some of the top basketball high school prospects throughout the country. A number of U.S. coaches will be in town that weekend recruiting Bahamian players.
Right now, we have scheduled to come South Alabama University, UMBC University, and University of California, Bakersfield. Those are 3 Division I coaches. We have Gordon State Junior College, that's scheduled to come, Three Rivers Junior College in Missouri, St. Petersburg from Florida. We have a Division II coming in from New Mexico. That'll be coming in, the schedule coming in, and we got about 5 different high schools that'll be coming in, Victory Rock Prep, Miami Prep, Miami House Prep out of Miami. You have also Veratus, which is way from California. That they're coming in. They have a few Bahamians on that team, which is an elite program.
Next in sports, the Grand Bahama Darts League is now preparing for the playoffs in the next few weeks.
Each teams, we play just like any other team sport where we have home and away games and we have home venues. So it's been going pretty good.
And finally in sports, the Shockwave Elite Flag Football League is heading into Week 5 this weekend. The Thunder is one of those teams looking also to make a strong playoff push as they near the mid-season.
So far, we've been exceeding expectations, I would say, for our season. We have a lot of the younger kids on our team, and I do feel as if we are making some great strides and progress. And at the end of the day, that is the whole purpose of the Shockwave Elite 5-on-5. We're not just developing young football players, but we're also developing young men for the foreseeable future.
Ladies and gents, that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
This time I'm on a one-way.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Hi, my name is Rosalie Bailey. My husband George and I own Pisces Restaurant, so welcome to Pisces. We've been in business for the last 45 years, weathered all the storms in Grand Bahama, up and down on the roller coaster, and we're still here, serving more than 40-odd different types of pizzas. We've got a fabulous menu. We serve everything from lobster thermidor, seafood platters, and our very special curries. We have a very extensive menu, so you need to come in and look at it. A little bit of something for everyone. So if you'd like to come and have a party here, you're celebrating a birthday or an anniversary or a christening, whether it's from 2 to 50, we can take care of you. We're located now at the Grand Bahama Yacht Club, right on Midshipman. It's a beautiful setting out here. You can find us from 4 o'clock in the evening until midnight. The kitchen is open till 11. Our telephone contact is 373-5192. We also have cell numbers of 807-5192 and 823-8266.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. The Bahamas Tonight continues. Here's a live look at them now.
News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, a major win for the financial services sector. The Bahamas removed from France's blacklist. Also, promises of anti-corruption, new recruitment, and an expanded fleet. The new Defense Force Commodore charts the way forward. And a successor to Pope Francis elected. Reaction tonight from the head of the local archdiocese. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. Continued efforts to meet international standards on tax cooperation and transparency paying off huge dividends for the Bahamas. More than a year after being taken off the European Union's blacklist, the Bahamas has been officially removed from France's list of non-cooperative states and territories in tax matters. The now expanded ability to operate in jurisdictions like France only enhances the country's attractiveness as an international financial center. Now, news of the delisting comes only a day after the Prime Minister returned from a high-stakes meeting in Washington where he lamented the sustained pressure applied to the Bahamas, not due to any wrongdoing, but shifting international standards.
One-size-fits-all blacklists and policy decisions made without meaningful input from the countries affected. This has amounted to what many of us regard as an unfair and often unbalanced assault on the reputation and viability of our industry. The impact has been felt not only in boardrooms, but by everyday Bahamians, in loss of jobs, diminished competitiveness, and reduced access to essential banking services.
As the Prime Minister made clear to the media Wednesday, the Bahamas has in turn responded not with complaints, but reforms. Case in point, yesterday's passing of 2 financial bills aimed at enhancing transparency and compliance within the financial services sector and strengthening investor confidence. The Bahamas, he stressed, wishes to work with the United States to build a global financial system that is fair, risk-sensitive, and responsive.
Our interests are not in conflict. We both want to stop illicit finance. We both want strong, well-regulated institutions. And we both want rules that support trust, not drive responsible countries out of the system. That is why we welcome the U.S. Treasury Secretary's willingness to engage on the issue of de-risking and why we will continue pushing for solutions that pressure financial integrity.
Well, while in Washington, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis also brought up a long-standing concern, the economic benefits Bahamians receive from the U.S. naval base in Andros, known as AUTEC. He says U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio pledged to involve more Bahamians.
While we value the strategic defense relationship between our two nations, we must also ensure that Bahamians benefit meaningfully from the economic activity associated with that base. Our American counterparts were open to further discussions on how to create more pathways for Bahamian contractors and workers to participate. And I will continue leading that conversation personally.
In other news tonight, a leadership transition within the country's military. A new Commodore welcomed amid farewell to the old. Devontae Hanna was at the Coral Harbor base today and has the details.
At the Coral Harbor base, a ceremonial parade, precise salutes, and an air of reflection marked a pivotal day for the Royal Bahamas Defense Force as the near 2,000 officers welcomed its new Commodore, Floyd Moxey.
I'm surrounded by talented, competent people, and I think we're going to move the organization forward.
Moxey, an attorney and seasoned officers, now tasked with leading the force into its next chapter amid growing regional threats and manpower issues, which he pledges to address.
It is my intent to align with the will of the government of the Bahamas to forge a defense force that is modern, resilient, and forward-looking.
It is a historic day, not just because of who's stepping in, but because of who's stepping down. Former Commodore Dr. Raymond King, whose tenure has seen national crises, modernization efforts, and even form international partnerships. Today is not just a changing of the guard, but it is a moment to celebrate a career that is defined by service. Brought to tears by an emotional tribute from his wife, whom he met on the force after 39 years of service, and 4 at the helm, he closed the chapter marked by modernization, maritime security upgrades, and global cooperation.
Concerted efforts were placed on my part to exemplify leadership qualities characterized by professionalism, integrity, and fairness.
Continuing that transition is Moxey, who Dr. King believes is well equipped to navigate the evolving challenges of the organization while fulfilling its mandate. First, by ensuring the Defense Force Maritime's fleet meets 21st century standards.
And that is my main objective. We need to get it up to 85% operation. We operating now maybe around 65%. We have a threat from Haiti, and what we will be doing is increasing our maritime presence in the southern Bahamas.
According to Moxey, on May 31st, the Defense Force will receive 150 new recruits as he pledges to decentralize their security efforts. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Meantime, history made. For the first time, a woman ascends to the second highest rank within the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. For Deputy Commodore Natasha Miller, it was a moment that shattered a glass ceiling at the Coral Harbor base as the country's military continues its efforts to modernize and diversify its leadership. In her first remarks following her appointment, Miller told reporters it was a moment bigger than her.
I think that there were great women before me who could have arisen to this rank or even a higher rank, but they were just not given the opportunity. But I am happy today that I am here, and it has opened the door for other women in this organization and in other uniform branches. You've seen the Commissioner of Police. She has risen to the top. So I might have an opportunity to rise to the top, but at this moment I am indeed grateful.
Coming up, a number of high school students fall ill. We'll explain when the national report returns.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Irresistible taste of a KFC big deal, some people will do anything. KFC is finger-licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
You're looking at a shot there of downtown Nassau, the country's heartbeat. There you can see the Houses of Parliament built way back in the 1920s. We say a huge thank you to drone cameraman Neville Smith. Welcome back. Quite a scare for parents of a group of AF Adelaide Junior High students who were rushed to hospital this morning during a special assembly in the school's auditorium. When telephoned about the incident, school officials replied with no comment. However, after being advised by the Public Hospitals Authority, the Ministry of Education issued a release confirming that all the students are stable and are in good spirits. Now, parents and guardians added the release have been briefed and further updates will be provided. Now, as for what led to the children falling ill, we're told symptoms included lightheadedness, chest pains, and shortness of breath. Hospital officials say it appears the children suffered heat exhaustion. However, all possibilities have not been ruled out. Well, the government yesterday inking a deal with a local aviation and weather traffic entity that it says will greatly enhance and revolutionize meteorological services in the country. The deal will also lead to opportunities for Bahamians and fill essential gaps. Corval Pyfram has all the details.
Air travel to the Bahamas has grown exponentially, but the country's ability to properly monitor, regulate, and generate revenue through use of its airspace has fallen behind. The heads of agreement signed at the office of the Prime Minister yesterday with Bahamas Aviation Climate and Severe Weather Limited, or BACSWIN, is being hailed as revolutionary, setting the wheels in motion for enhanced weather forecasting, safer air traffic tracking, and better revenue collection for the government. Michael Strawn is the group's financial advisor.
This project will allow for enhanced safety for airlines and its customers, as well as expanded revenue streams for the government, which with respects to airspace usage and overflight fees.
Through this deal, the Bahamas becomes home to the Caribbean's first ever Meteorological Watch Office.
The Watch Office, coupled with BACSWIN's novel atmospheric aviation, climate, service hydrology, 3D terrain, street and chart mapping, severe weather tracking and sensor network, will bring about real-time flight tracking and enhanced reporting of meteorological conditions affecting the Bahamas.
Prime Minister Philip Davis, just back from high-level talks in D.C. where the issue of climate change and weather-related matters were discussed, says this project comes at a critical time.
As a nation, we are on the front line of climate change. The storms we face are stronger. The risks to life and property are growing. In such a world, data is not a luxury. It is a necessity.
While it may come at a critical time, the Prime Minister welcomes the opportunities it comes with.
This agreement includes the provision of at least 10 scholarships per annum and clear commitments to train and employ qualified Bahamians in meteorology, aviation law, weather broadcasting, and other technical fields in the aviation space.
This project is expected to generate more than $420 million over the course of 3 years. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
The case has been made repeatedly. A multi-pronged approach is needed to resolve the backlog of cases plaguing the local judiciary, and National Security Minister agrees, going further to add that the solution demands more from attorneys, prosecutors, and judges. We get more in this report from Lloyd Allen.
The backlog of cases in the Bahamian court system is of significant concern, with delays affecting both criminal and civil proceedings. As of recent reports, criminal cases are experiencing delays of 12 to 18 months, with some extending beyond that time frame, while civil and commercial cases face similar delays, while family court matters typically experience shorter wait times of approximately 9 to 12 months. National Security Minister and former president of the Bahamas Bar Association, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, spoke candidly about some of the challenges leading to the current backlog of cases in the court system.
The administration of justice, as the All Chief Justice says, is a cooperative effort, and all the parties have a part in making it run efficiently.
Now, regarding prosecutors, the minister suggests they should focus on the aspect of merit and let that consideration be on a case-by-case basis.
So the fact that you can find 50 witnesses to call doesn't mean that you have to call all 50 of them.
The Minister of National Security also reminding defense lawyers to accept cases they are skilled to handle. He also identified trial dates as an also important area which can benefit from more efficiency.
Like, I handed something to you. If that's undisputed, why do we have to call 2 people?
The Minister of National Security is also reminding defense lawyers to accept cases they are skilled to handle. He also identified trial dates as another area which can benefit from more efficiency.
Today we have a system where you know the trial date well in advance, as you all know. So when you know the trial dates well in advance, you have the ability not to seek to get trials dates that you know will conflict.
Now, regarding judges, the minister reasons that control starts and ends with them. Reporting from the Nassau Street Court Complex for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Are you straight? Bro, I ain't getting no service. I can't make no calls. I can't post nothing on my stories. I don't get it.
Wait, you on the live? Shad, come, let's fix that. Come. This one needs saving. Pour them over, please.
Say less. Sign up today. Enjoy 5 gigs on us with select prepaid plans when you port your number to Alive, or 3 months free Alive fiber services when you port your landline.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is producing work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
New stuffed crust cheddar flavor has a taste you'll enjoy.
Outside and inside.
With a delicious stuffed crust covered in irresistible cheddar flavor. Come and try the new stuffed crust cheddar flavor only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
We're all in this boat together. It takes a team to do it. It doesn't take one person or 3 people, 5 people. It takes a team of people to pull this thing off.
We have about 72 employees in Freeport, and the rest are in Nassau, Abelkona, Luthra. A total of over 165.
A lot of people are not aware that Sans is brewed here in the Bahamas. It's made
It's produced here in Grand Bahama Island after Dorian, and especially during the pandemic. Every time I saw a bottle of beer, every time I saw a Sands product, it represented resilience.
The only thing I can say to the Bahamian people is to support your own.
All of us are in this boat together, our staff, the country, everyone. And we've been through a lot of rough patches, taking on water, bail the water out, and now it's time to be sailing forward. And we need everyone's support to make that happen.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by 700 Wines and Spirits, bringing celebration across the nation.
A truly historic day at the Vatican as cardinals elected a new head of the Catholic Church. Robert Prevost, who has chosen the name Leo XIV, is the 267th occupant of the throne of St. Peter as the new pope. The 69-year-old Chicago native is also the first American to assume the papacy. His election has the world's 1.4 billion Catholics excited from the Vatican to right here in the Bahamas. Corval Pyfrom has reaction tonight from the head of the local archdiocese. He joins us now in studio. Corval?
Elation tonight in Rome and right here at home. The election of the new pope seems to be being met with widespread approval.
It is a joy for us to have a new pope, of course.
Archbishop Patrick Pinder welcomes the election of the new pope and says this is a significant moment for the church. And the selection of the pope's name, Leo, is significant as well. His predecessor, Pope Leo XIII, the Archbishop explains, is cited as the first of the modern popes, and his influence is felt to this very day.
He is the one who developed what we have come to know as the Catholic social teaching, with a document called Rerum Novarum, and that has had a tremendous influence globally, including here locally in certain political sectors as well.
The Pope's election is historic also because it makes Leo the first American-born pontiff. But the Archbishop is quick to point out that his life of service and reach goes far beyond that.
While he is certainly an American by birth, I think that's an aspect of his biography. I think, though, the total picture is much, much broader than that.
As for what exactly Pope Leo's papacy will be like, Archbishop says that's too early to say. And while there's much speculation that because of his closeness to Pope Francis, his immediate predecessor, his pontificate will mirror that of the late Francis, the Archbishop says don't count on it.
I do believe that he certainly will embrace the best that Pope Francis had, but I don't think his pontificate will be an imitation of Pope Francis. The characters are very, very different. You can see that he doesn't have the same kind of personality as Pope Francis. But I do believe that he certainly will bring forward the best of the previous pontificate and also bring what his own charism to the office of the papacy is.
Archbishop Pinder does not know the new pope personally. The two have never met, but he tells us that a meeting with the new pope and all the bishops of the church is in the works, and that should be happening in the not too distant future. Back to you.
Well, thanks, Corval. Well, we'll certainly hear more reaction about the new pope over in Access Now, but for now, LaDawn and Marlena will tell us what else is coming up.
Well, Coach, I hope you have on your dancing shoes because this Cancer Month, and that ball is coming up later on this month, so I hope you're ready to dance. I know Marlena is ready to dance, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're going to find out what the theme is and all the good details coming up, so I don't have the dress yet, but I believe in myself. Are you getting your dress ready? What about you, Kush? You getting yours ready last minute?
That's important. Yeah, belief in oneself is important. Stay tuned. We'll have more after the break.
Diet-friendly special.
one item? Are you tired of limited choices? I'll have the one item on the menu, thank you. Wow! So many choices. Why settle for less when you deserve more? When it comes to the ways you pay, the more, the better. With a variety of payment options available, you can enjoy the freedom to choose what works best for you. Choose freedom. Choose flexibility. Choose from the full menu of payment options. The future of pay is digital.
Do you ever just want more?
But wait, there's Marco's! Introducing the More Marco's menu, packed with your favorites starting at just $6. Like our warm, golden baked cheesy bread, crispy stuffed risotto. How about a hot, fresh, medium one-topping pizza, subs, calzones, pizza bowls, and more. Starting at just $6. Certain restrictions apply. More variety, more value, more Marco's. Order today at Marco's Pizza, Bahamas.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you. At the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Vitamalt just turned up the flavor dial, and vanilla is the smooth new twist, shaking up the Caribbean malt scene. Launched just last week, this creamy, bold, and refreshingly different edition is already stirring taste buds and making headlines. Ashley Whitney has the inside scoop.
We caught up with Jesus Lopez, regional manager for Vitamalt in the Caribbean, who shared why the Bahamas was chosen as the launch pad for this flavorful first sip. Spoiler alert, it's more than just the sun, sand, and sea. It's about flavor-savvy fans who know a good malt when they taste one.
Bahamas was chosen as the premier market because for over 25 years, Vitamalt has become a staple in every single Bahamian household. The level of support and love that the brand has gotten has been fantastic. So it is just natural for us to be able to select the Bahamas as the premier market for this launch.
Andre Walt, Director of Marketing and Partnerships at CBL, dished on how this sweet collaboration came to life.
Cometh Brewery, we are a strategic partner of Royal Unibrew, our partner in Denmark, and we've collaborated together on this innovation from the very, very beginning. All of the concept testing, the research, everything has been done here in the Bahamas to figure out what is the right flavor profile, the right branding, and the right way to communicate this new innovation to our esteemed consumers and customers.
Danielle Smith, Vitamalt's vibrant brand rep, gave us the inside pour on what makes this vanilla flavor stand apart from the rest.
This flavor is all about no added sugar. We offer our consumers 12 grams of sugar, which is 72% less than our original classic flavor Vitamalt. So it's obviously it's a healthier version than what our consumers are now experiencing. The older you get up in age, or when you want to curb and be more health conscious, these products offer a more wealthier, healthier option for you.
Of course, the big question on everyone's lips, will the Family Islands get to taste the magic too? We went straight to Denzel DeVoe, Senior Portfolio Manager at CBL, who hinted that there's something brewing for malt lovers beyond Nassau.
Because we're 700 wines and spirits, and we're basically 42 stores in total, in the total Bahamas. So we're going to have those stores act as our channels for the Family Islands. But in New Providence, we're going to work with our partners at AML, as well as Super Value, and also we're going to work with the government.
And finally, what's next for Vitamalt? One thing's clear, they're just getting started.
One of the pillars of Vitamalt is innovation. So we are always on the lookout to introduce new products that will satisfy the curiosity of every single malt consumer in the Bahamas. So you should expect new additions, but always in this new low, no sugar.
If you haven't tried the vanilla yet, what are you waiting for? Get out there and grab one. It's deliciously different.
Well, certainly awesome news for Vitamalt lovers out there. That does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group present the legends of Breaking Straight. Get ready for the biggest names in Bahamian music live on stage. KB, Funky D, Gino D, D-Mac, Sweet Emily, Simeon Outen, Veronica Bishop, and more like the Singing Bishop. Mark your calendars for Saturday, May 10th at the Farm, Marshall Road. Gates open at 6 p.m. General admission 80, VIP 120. Tickets available at Missouri, Bookie Brand at the Beauty Shop. Low location. Skyboxes and Skypod. Call ESC Distributors at 394-0819. Email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Saturday, May 10th. Come by boat and play and experience the legends of Breaking Straight. Brought to you by Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, ESC Distributors, Missouri, The Plug, The Beauty Shop, Bahama Sea, Bookie Brand, and Caribbean Wines and Spirits.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Who knew bacteria could help gardens thrive? That's what J.S. Johnson employees discovered during a hands-on workshop hosted by the Agricultural Development Organization at the St. James Road Community Farm.
And this bacteria helps the garden. It helps our plants by being able to provide the process that turns all of our nutrients into a more soluble uptake for them.
Partnering with J.S. Johnson, ADO taught participants to use lactic acid bacteria made from kitchen scraps to create powerful natural fertilizer for backyard gardens.
Every day, right, you know, in the Bahamas, we cook, right? We cook rice. Rice goes with almost everything, right? So on a Sunday, if you're cooking up a nice pot, right, you save that rice water, you ferment that rice water, and then you use 1 gallon of milk and you make your bacteria.
Employees learned practical steps to start their own gardens, even in small spaces.
So we want to be able to open our mason jar. The trick is that we do not want to use chlorinated water that we get from the city. We want to use really good water, purified water. Let's put the rice inside there. We just want to add the water. Just mix it up, and you're going to see something. You're going to see how it went from clear to now it's going to start getting cloudy.
The workshop is part of ADO's push to promote sustainable farming and empower Bahamian communities through agricultural education.
We have a community farm in 6 constituencies already, 1 in Rollville, Exuma, 1 here, and then 4 throughout Nassau. So 5 in Nassau, 1 in Exuma, in Rollville. The idea is to have 1 in every constituency, so we need to do another 33. And those goals we hope to achieve within the next 2 years.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
The little entrepreneur that could. You're never too young to start up a business. Those details are straight ahead.
And Desde Cuba con Amor, Bahamas Air execs visiting Havana tell us about Fit Cuba.
Plus, a young Bahamian cardiologist is making waves with cardiovascular prevention. Stay close for that.
And coming up in sports, find out who took the top spot at this year's primary school track and field nationals.
The Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
The Pope has been elected. Long live the Pope, Marlena.
Habemus Papam. Exciting day for Roman Catholics the world over, LaDawn. On the 5th round of the Cardinals voting, the white smoke appeared from a chimney on the roof of the Sistine Chapel, signifying the election of the 267th pontiff of the Catholic Church was complete.
Cardinal Robert Prevost is now Pope Leo XIV, the first American to be elected Pope. Congratulations to all the Catholics here in the Bahamas. And let's dive right into the news, shall we? If most of us aren't busy enough, try this one for size. Running not just one, but businesses competing in pageants, mentoring, and playing the violin. Oh, Did we mention that you're doing all of that at just 9 years old? Well, that's exactly what little Tashana Wilson is busy doing. She started one of her businesses more than 3 years ago. The Sunland Baptist Academy student who also happens to be Little Miss Sunland Baptist Academy and Imperial World Beauty's Bahamas Junior Miss was recently here in the capital to participate in a seminar for young ladies at Spilled Polish Nail Academy hosted by Metamorphosis Beauty Salon. We were lucky enough to have little Tashana here at our studios where she told us a little about her businesses and shared her advice for other young girls wanting to branch out into the business world.
Bella by Ava is a sports and underwear line, and I have another business called Candy Puckers where I make lip glosses and sell them. I talk to them about customer service, how important it is to never give up on your business and to chase your dreams.
Well, Bahamas Air sales and revenue executives participated in Fit Cuba 2025 thanks to Havana Tour, gaining memorable experiences and solidifying the airline's presence in Cuba. Meltisha Smith tells us about the flight from Nassau to Havana.
We'd like to express our gratitude to Havana Tour for inviting us among this experience. It has been nothing short of amazing. And secondly, we'd like to thank them for choosing us as the airline of choice. Bahamas Air has 2 direct flights into Cuba weekly. That's Tuesday and Friday. The flight is about 1 hour, smooth, short, nothing too fussy. Cuba can be considered your home away from home. Bahamas Air is special because you don't have to connect. It's just 1 direct flight from Nassau to Cuba.
Smith was joined by Candace Saunders and Kashina Lightborn, who shared their experience touring the island of Cuba.
This is my first time in Cuba. And everything, like I said, has been breathtaking. Meanwhile, a lot of Bahamians capitalize on the medical tourism, but the experiences we've discovered has been breathtaking. We visited the Indian caves, a lot of historical sites. We went to the Rum Museum, the tobacco field. Everything was just an experience that you don't want to miss.
What I would recommend is the vintage cars. That was my first time doing that, and I actually absolutely enjoyed it. I also would recommend doing the Tropicana. That was my first time as well, and it was actually a great experience. The food was diverse as well. Knowing how we cook in the Bahamas and how Cuba food is, it's very diverse, but I would recommend it.
I had a phenomenal time here in Cuba. The experience here was, I'd say, 10 out of 10. If you're interested in coming to Cuba, come on down. The culture here is a bit different. It isn't a much of a culture shock because it's still Caribbean and we got a lot of the culture, Tropicana, and the cuisine is a little different than what we're accustomed to in the Bahamas. I think they'll be sending their clients to us, Bahamas Air, to the #1 choice of flight into Havana, Cuba.
A program made with the health of Bahamians in mind. When this young doctor thinks of her next professional steps, this is what she sees. Far too often, Bahamians struggle with heart and blood vessel challenges, and her mission is to do something about it. Danielle Dean reports.
A Bahamian doctor is breaking barriers in the medical field, leading research in cardiovascular prevention with a passion to make a difference back home. Dr. Tia Bamal says her Bahamian upbringing and health challenges she's witnessed firsthand inspired her mission to save lives through early prevention.
Coming from the Bahamas, where patients have noticed, often travel abroad for complex procedures. And I recognize that as a physician training in cardiovascular prevention and cardiac imaging, that could make a huge difference for patients back home.
Cardiovascular prevention is key to reducing not only the rate of comorbidities within the country, but also the rate of hospitalizations.
Cardiovascular prevention is an up-and-coming area of cardiology. It helps to reduce the overall incidence of heart disease, leading to less reliance on costly procedures. So hopefully saving a lot of money, but also, saving a lot of hospitalizations as well for patients with acute illness because you're preventing the disease in the process.
Bimal envisions a program tailored for Bahamians focused on early screening, education, and treatment options that meets the patients where they are.
It would focus on increasing access to preventive care and improving patient education. I would also start with community-based screening initiatives to identify individuals at risk for hypertension, high cholesterol, and diabetes. And a key component of that, as I mentioned previously, would be expanding access to medications that are available across the whole spectrum.
And although Bimal's work may find her traveling across the globe, she says her Bahamian roots are what she will always return to.
This heritage has also given me a sense of responsibility. You know, I've been given a set of opportunities to pursue my career goals and to get a certain amount of knowledge. And hopefully with this, I am able to contribute to the Bahamian population and especially improve outcomes for underserved population of the Bahamas.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Still to come, Dr. Nicholas Fox joins us later in the show to talk about Cancer Month, so stay close.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You heard what they say, Mike? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do? What does do? Wait, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, Shop Smart, at Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Oh, this ain't making no sense, man. How people making it out here, Dre? If you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you gotta learn how to budget. First, write down all of your income. Then, list out all of your expenses. And don't forget to save. Stop throwing away money. Put something aside for savings. And get this, government savings bonds can safely grow your money. So start budgeting, save your coins, and invest smart. Financial independence, wait. Financial independence, wait. Learn how to invest in government savings bonds on the Central Bank of the Bahamas website.
Looking at a live shot of Government House. Government House looks awesome in this shot by our one-of-a-kind, best of the best, never duplicated drone pilot Neville Big Nev Smith. We call this shot Government House in the Afterglow. Let's see what's happening on our family islands. Let's go.
Despite a slump in air arrivals and stopover during the 3-month period of January to March of this year, those numbers are holding firm in several family islands, as Director General of Tourism Latia Duncombe revealed during Tuesday's Office of the Prime Minister's weekly briefing.
Air arrivals in Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini, and Eleuthera exceeded 2024's performance. Growth is being realized across our family islands.
Well, May is Cancer Month, and Dr. Nicholas Fox joins us tonight. Not only is he the Vice President of the Cancer Society, but he's also a cancer survivor. Welcome back to Access Now.
Hi, and thank you for having me on the show.
Amazing. So May is Cancer Month. Can you tell us what that means?
Well, May is Cancer Month. It means that we are celebrating all cancers, not just a particular cancer. You know, in October, everybody gets all excited about breast cancer and they wear their pink, et cetera, et cetera. But May is all cancer month. So instead of just celebrating a specific cancer, what we do is we have events where we can celebrate all the cancers. And this is our month for our biggest fundraiser, the ball.
And we all want to know about the ball.
Oh, yes.
I know last year it's pretty hard to beat that African theme. I was there. People were dressed to the nines. Some people had shipped their dresses in from Africa. What can we expect from this year's ball? What's the theme?
Well, this year is going to be spectacular. The theme is a royal ball, timeless elegance, in the theme of Bridgerton. Of course, we couldn't use that because of copyright laws.
Right.
But, you know, that's a time when aristocracy, royalty, the monarchy, people feel like, you know, they've arrived. So we want to duplicate this in a ball form and let people come out and feel like, you know, that they matter, that they're royalty, and have a really good time. Yes, yes.
Amazing.
And so we're asking people to, you know, dress to the theme like last year. Last year was just amazing. And we have a lot planned for that evening.
Can't wait to see it. Now, obviously, that's the big fundraiser, but it's not all you guys do this month. What are some of the other awareness exercises?
Well, some of the other, well, you know, we have ongoing pap smear and prostate screening campaigns every Tuesday and Thursday at the Cancer Care Center. Every other Friday, we have game day. On the 23rd, we have a breakfast and tour of the facility. And on the 24th is the big ball. We've already had our church service. We've already had meetings. And so now it's just the pap smear and prostate campaign, the tour of the site, and of course the ball. Everybody's just getting ready for the ball.
Now, you mentioned the tour. Believe it or not, there's still quite a few people who aren't really sure what the functions of the Cancer Society are. So can you just briefly walk us through what some of the things are that you do?
Well, the mandate of the Cancer Society is to do everything cancer: prevention, screening, awareness via educational materials, support groups, and just constant lecturing about preventative measures and healthy living to stay on top of cancer and keep the numbers down.
Amazing. Obviously, it takes money to run all of that. So
yes.
Where can we buy our tickets? Where can we find them?
At the Cancer Caring Center, tickets are $300, and it's under the auspices of the Governor General, Mother Pratt, Cynthia Pratt, and the tickets are $300, and they can be purchased at the Cancer Caring Center.
Amazing.
Yes.
Now, I wouldn't be able to let you go without asking you the magic question. Now, most people know you as an accomplished doctor, but we've also been hearing whispers that you might be throwing your hat in the ring when it comes to the next election. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, people are whispering, and people are shouting as well. And I have put my name in the race for the FNM, for the Fox Hill constituency. I was born and raised in Fox Hill, and I'm still an active part of the community in Fox Hill. So yes, the rumors are true.
Oh, well, there you go. Now you have it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Best of luck with the ball. I hope I'll get to be there. And we hope to see you back here soon, of course.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks again.
Well, as for us, let's take a look at what's coming up in sports.
The final day of competition at the Frank Pancho Rami Track and Field Nationals. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Celebrate the incredible women in your life this Mother's Day. And don't forget the special offer from Cornet Bahamas. From April 16th to May 16th, enjoy a fantastic 35% off store-wide. That's right, everything you need to show your love and appreciation is on sale. Whether it's a heartfelt gift for mom, a treat for yourself, or something special for that amazing woman in your life, we've got you covered. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit any one of our stores today. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable with Cornet Bahamas.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at a service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one and your car say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
Did you know you could send a local bank transfer to a Sand Dollar wallet? It's the same as sending a transfer to an account at another local bank. Simply use the wallet's 12-digit top-up address as the account number, savings as the account type, Central Bank of the Bahamas as the bank, and Sand Dollar as the branch with branch code or transit number 12,000. Don't use urgent or priority delivery. Transfers to Sand Dollar wallets are processed through the Bahamas Automated Clearinghouse Network within 1 business day.
Welcome to Thursday Sports, everyone. I'm Amaj Arnold. Topping sports, it was the final day of competition over at the old Thomas A. Robinson Stadium for the Frank Pancho Ramming Primary School Track and Field Nationals. Our intern Swanson Gibson Jr. with the Day 3 recap.
Day 3 of the Frank Pancho Ramming Track and Field Nationals gave way to major excitement. We would have had 72 schools competing in the sprints, long distance, middle, as well as relays and field events. We caught up with Frank Pancho himself to discuss the potential he's seen displayed on the track.
I see it getting better. I don't see it going to get any worse. I think it's getting better, and the athletes look good. Athletes are participating well and looking good, so yeah.
In the under-13 females division, Temple Christian finished Day 3 with 44 points. In the under-13 males, Queens College finishing with 34. Thelma Gibson claiming the under-11 females category with 36.50 points. Again, Temple Christian taking a division, this time the under-11 males with 41 points. Grace Christian Academy takes the under-9 females with 28 points. Queens College back in the mix, taking under-9 males with 35 points. Low Sound Primary took the under-7 females division with 34 points. Following them in the under-7 males is Temple Christian yet again claiming a division, tallying 34 points. Temple Christian cleaning up at this year's meet, claiming the under-females with 40 points. And we have Cleveland Aeneas taking the under-5 males division with 36 points. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
Let's look at your sports on this Thursday. A check on weather when we return.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and I'm a survey enumerator with the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, or BNSI. For the next few months, we will be conducting the Household Expenditure Survey on various islands.
You might be wondering, why is this survey important? Well, it helps us to determine the poverty line and assess how to ensure everyone has access to the basic services they need. This information is used by the government, businesses, researchers, and students to make informed decisions and plan for the future. We know that your time is valuable, which is why we've made the survey as simple and easy as possible. And don't worry, all your information you provide is confidential.
Your participation will help us gather accurate information that will benefit everyone in the Bahamas. Thank you for your cooperation and being a part of shaping the future of the Bahamas.
Committed to quality and community.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Here at Solomon's, we don't just believe in great brands. We believe in creating unforgettable memories and celebrating everyday living with you and your family. Every aisle is filled with all you need. A great value with variety and a selection of all your favorite groceries and products. Saving you time and keeping you on a budget. Great food changes everything. Shop at your local Solomon's for food, for family, for you.
New stuffed crust cheddar flavor has a taste you'll enjoy.
Outside and inside.
With a delicious stuffed crust covered in irresistible cheddar flavor. Come and try the new stuffed crust cheddar flavor only at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
Access weather forecast, lots of sunshine around the 700 islands, and that will be at us for another couple of days as the dry conditions continue, but some elevation in moisture could happen early next week, particularly around Grand Bahama and the Abacos, and if we're lucky, we can perhaps get 1 or 2 brief passing showers here in the capital early next week. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we bulk up your business. In the northwest and central parts of the country tonight and Friday, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, and they will be falling light and variable at times with flat seas 2 to 4 feet. Low tide takes place at 34 minutes past midnight. You can expect your high tide at 6:26 tomorrow morning. Now for the southeast bombers tonight and tomorrow, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights also at 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And as we head into Saturday in the northwest and central islands, that southeast winds will continue, but just around 15 knots. The wave heights 3 to 5 feet. So we'll see a slight uptick in the winds on Saturday. High tide takes place at 7:06 in the morning, with a low tide at 1:13 in the afternoon. And for the southeastern islands on Saturday, we get a northeast component at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
A pretty lady down the street one day, here's what she had to see. Life's been unkind in so many ways. I'll be evicted with 5 children, yes, hardly a cent to pay the rent on down here.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. LaDawn and Malina.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Temperatures are in the high 70s at nights now. You're right, Malena. Summer is on the way.
Yep, and as much as I love the chilly weather, I do love me some summer too, because I tried going in the ocean last month and I got in and I was like, so maybe it's getting warm enough now that it's me.
You may want to try the beach on Saturday.
Yeah, maybe. I'll report back.
But before you grab your towel and floating device, let's turn things over to our Nika Bannister and let's talk socials.
Hey everyone, I'm Arnika and welcome back to Let's Talk Socials, the segment where we break down what's trending online so you don't have to pretend you already knew. And today we're decoding the secret language of Gen Z, also known as the people who turned regular words into a new dialect. So our first word is Riz. And no, it's not short for charisma. It is charisma, but not just any charisma. It's the ability to pull, flirt, charm, or basically, if you got Riz, yeah, you're that person. And next up is Delulu, as in delusional, but cute. Like when you think somebody is actually going crazy or something sounds absurd, you would say that's Delulu behavior. And slay is still alive and well, but now we're slaying, we're eating, we're serving looks, and sometimes we're doing literally nothing but giving. So Gen Z vocabulary is a whole performance art. Also, beware of the word mid. If somebody calls your outfit or say that you're mid, your playlist is mid, your entire existence is mid, they're saying you're average. And I don't think anybody wants to be known as average. So proceed with caution. And let's not forget no cap. And that just means no lie, as in the slang is wild, no cap. But if you're still using for real, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. So, no cap. So here's the vibe. Gen Z slang is fast, funny, and full of inside jokes. And if you're not keeping up, well, that's a little sus, but that's suspect. But no stress, we've got you. This has been another installment of Let's Talk Socials. Stay lit and don't get caught being mid. And remember, if all else fails, just slay and smile.
We won't get caught being mid. Well, that does it for Access Now. Make sure to join us for Entertainment Friday.
Yes, stay tuned for the rundown with Ahmad Rashad Thompson on leadership.
Good night, everybody.
A Lyford Key. I'm Tanya Smith Cartwright. This is ZNS.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, leaders from all generations, good evening. And welcome to the Rundown on Leadership, where we don't just talk leadership, we live it, breathe it, redefine it, and elevate it week after week. And listen, can I just say this? We are loving our time together every Thursday night. These conversations are not just episodes, they are movements. And based on the DMs, the shares, the wow, this was so good texts that we're receiving, we know that you're feeling it too. Thursday nights hit different now. And if you feel it too, tell us about it. If you're watching us online, comment and tell us where you're watching from. If this show is shifting the way you lead, the way you think, the way you move, let us know. We want to invite you to get involved, y'all. If something hits you tonight, drop it in the comments. If a quote sparks your situation or speaks to your situation, jot it down, post it, and tag us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. And if you know someone who's knee-deep in transition, text them right now and tell them to tune in. Don't let them miss what's about to go down. Because this conversation could change how you handle every change from this point forward. Tonight's episode is personal. It's powerful, and it's absolutely necessary because we're talking about one word that has disrupted careers, transformed businesses, and challenged even the best of us. That word? Change. But before we get all textbook and tactical on you, let me take you back for a second. I remember a situation early in my leadership journey. Walking into the office, bright-eyed and ready to conquer the day. Laptop fired up, hot cup of tea in hand, and high expectations in tow. Around 1:30 p.m. that afternoon, the phone on my desk rang. I answered, and the next words I heard were, "Hi, Ahmad. Effective tomorrow, please report to so-and-so branch. You've been reassigned to so-and-so unit." Just like that, everything shifted. I went from being confident and in control to confused, concerned, and honestly, I was mad as hell. People started coming to me for answers I did not have. Morale, including mine, started to dip. And I realized something profound. Change isn't hard because it's different. Change is hard because it's unfamiliar and often severely mismanaged. And we as leaders are called to lead people through that unfamiliar territory. So tonight, we're going deeper than buzzwords and surface strategies. You've just been enrolled in a masterclass on change management. Let's call it Change Management 101. We'll uncover the real tools, mindset, and methods that help you lead transformation like a pro. The reality is, no matter how long you've been a leader, change is not coming. It's already here. And if you're not ready to lead through it, it will lead you and your team into chaos, confusion, and collapse. So here's what we're diving into tonight. The 3 pillars every leader must navigate change. The real reason why 70% of change initiatives fail and how to make sure yours does not. The difference between communicating for information and communicating for transformation. And we'll talk about change fatigue because some of you all are tired of pivoting every single Monday. Every week there's something different and something new to adapt. And we've got a powerhouse absolute expert on change management joining us tonight. My guest is Mrs. Elizabeth Longley, HR superhero, change management guru, and principal and owner of Pivotal HR Services, who has led change across global teams and organizations. She's not just going to give us theory, she's bringing insight, experience, and most of all, wisdom. So whether you're a C-suite executive rolling out a new vision, a supervisor trying to get your team on board with a new system, or just someone trying to stay afloat in a world that's consistently flipping the script, this episode is for you. So grab your notepad, turn up the volume, share this with your team, because what we're about to walk through might just be the missing link between confusion and clarity, between resistance and results. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, leaders of all generations, welcome to the Rundown on Leadership. Let's change how we do change. Don't blink, the breakthrough's next.
Let's go. At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our psych wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You can do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme, Now Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank, and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out. To anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey, I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
Hi, Phil Swift here for the FlexSeal family of flood protection products. Our flood protection products are specifically designed to work together in order to create multiple layers of super strong protection. All these windows, doors, seams, and openings have all been sealed up tight. Now there's a new way to protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters. Get the removable FlexSeal family of flood protection products.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the national report. I'm your national anchor, Mukesh Lopinder.
Welcome back to the Rundown on Leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest tonight is someone that I revere, someone that I value, someone that I trust, and someone that I respect. She is indeed the standard when it comes to change management. She's helped organizations around this country, around the world, understand how to navigate successfully what change management actually is. Her name is Elizabeth Longley, and I'm so grateful that she decided to join us tonight. Liz, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Ahmad.
You're very welcome. It's my honor to have you here with us tonight, Liz. Liz, we're talking about change management and all that encompasses, all it actually means. When you think of the term change management, Liz, it can feel sometimes abstract or corporate, like really, really corporate and above our heads. How would you define it in a way that resonates with everyday leaders?
Sure. In its simplest terms, change management is simply moving a team of people from one way of being to another way of being, and making sure that you're guiding them through the journey so that you don't lose them and still minimize the business risks.
Yeah, so moving from point A to point B,
yes,
as minimally risky as possible,
yes,
but guiding them through that process as the leader.
Correct.
You've worked in various industries, Liz, across this country, across the world. What are some of the non-negotiables that leader must do to ensure that that change is going to be navigated successfully?
Sure. The first thing you want as a leader to consider is what's the objective? When you understand the why behind change, the second point it takes you to is communicating that change. So understand the why. The second thing is to communicate the why. And the third thing is to listen to your team members. People are the core of effecting change. You can have the perfect plan, you can have the process lined up, you can know exactly what you want to take place. But if you don't have your team members on board, that change is pretty much going to fail.
Absolutely. When we think, Liz, of what you said the fact that if your team is not on board with you, if your team does not buy into this vision, to this whatever we're trying to accomplish and or move from and then move toward, it's likely going to fail. Statistics show that about 70% of all change management initiatives actually do fail. And what we've come to realize is that there are some common missteps. What would you say is the most, or some of the most common missteps that organizations make, or leaders make rather, when they're initiating a change movement?
Sure. They underestimate how ready their people really are.
Wow.
They just assume that because they may have been talking about it amongst themselves, or they think because among the leadership team they've been talking about it, that everyone is ready and geared up to go. It's a misstep if you don't take the time to pause and assess where your team's readiness really is. Because you could have a team that says yes, 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 but that commitment isn't there, then it's really going to be a no, 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 no.
Indeed.
Yeah, so the first misstep would be not paying attention to your team members and assessing their actual change readiness level.
The change readiness level, that's a concept I believe we've not heard a lot about. When you think of what that change readiness level is, because you have, and most times, Liz, you have organizations and leaders in organizations who, because they've had the roundtable meetings, they've had the meeting after meeting, discussion after discussion, month after month, year after year, they've taken the time to get this change prepared at their level. And the expectation is, as of Monday, in my example earlier in the story I received, that decision wasn't made by the seat of the pants. I'm sure somebody discussed that for weeks and weeks.
That's right.
But I got the call that said, hey, tomorrow morning, report to so-and-so. You're now reassigned to so-and-so.
Ouch.
And I'm like, pardon? Say it again, How do you ensure, because you can do the readiness check if you want to, or if you want to be successful, but what is the difference between the big meetings and then coming down to the team and communicating what this change is going to actually be?
That's hugely important because there's something called the WIFM. Have you heard about WIFM?
Absolutely.
WIFM.
Yes. What's in it for me? Yes, yes,
At
yes.
the end of the day, it doesn't matter what decision is made, by whom or how. Every individual wants to know how are they impacted or affected by the change.
Yes.
So for example, in the instance where you were just pretty much reassigned, of course the natural response is, well, what am I supposed to do now? What does this mean for me?
Yes.
Are they setting me up to release me? Are they having a challenge with the way that I perform? And so you have all of these questions that come into the mind of an individual that somewhat don't need to be there had the leader communicated exactly what the WIFM factor was.
Yes, because if we're honest, Liz, if I'm honest to the audience, when that transition took place, with the example I gave earlier, what happened was that organization had made a really good decision to move in a different direction, and they wanted to put the right talent in that unit to make this really come to life. The problem is the really good talent had no idea that one, they saw me as really good talent, two, that my really good talent could be used elsewhere, and that three, I wasn't in trouble. I wasn't some afterthought or a by the way. And so it diminished initially the value that this talent could bring to the situation.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
That's right. It's a missed opportunity.
Absolutely.
Because had they taken another perspective, i.e. had the conversation, listen, Ahmad, we anticipate some changes coming down the line. We've been looking at the work that you've been doing. You sit up a little bit taller. You show them, you make sure they don't miss you, regardless of what their plan is. But it better positions you to respond to the change. And ultimately, successful change management does just that. It makes sure that the people who are being affected, they're able to respond positively to the change.
Yes. And that positive response doesn't necessarily amount to agreement or agreement.
Not necessarily.
Right? Somebody could still feel a certain way about that change.
Yes.
Even though they've been made to understand what the change is going to result in.
Correct.
How does a leader handle that? Resistance, if you will. It may not be outright avoidance of the change, but it could be, you know what, I'm not really feeling what's going on here. How does the leader handle that as that progresses?
I'll give you an actual example. I had an opportunity to work with a company that was changing all of their standard operating procedures for the core functions. This is a company that's been around for decades, and the employees have also been there, most of them, for quite a long time. And there was a grouping of individuals who were shifting the way that they work. It was a lot of manual labor. They knew the ins and outs of that job like the back of their hand. You couldn't tell them anything that they didn't know.
Yes.
And there was a team of them in particular that completely resisted the change.
Wow.
They heard about the new processes. They knew things were supposed to be better. They're supposed to be more efficient. It's supposed to make life easier. But the resistance came because it was all automated. So now you know how we already feel these robots and AI coming to take over our jobs.
Yes.
And they resisted. They resisted the trainings. They resisted the meetings. They resisted giving feedback. They resisted the coaching. And there was a gentleman I pulled on and I said, hey man, what's really going on?
Talk to me.
He said, ma'am, I in debt up to my eyeballs.
Wow.
Ma'am, between me and you, I don't know how to use the computer. I don't know how to work Excel. I can lose my job, miss. I can't lose my job. So in the scheme of things, while this major change, this adoption of new technology and software and customization sounded great for the company, it's the individual who you have to pay attention to and make sure break it down for them so that they show what you're going to do to help them along the way. Long story short, what we did is we enrolled him, we contracted a third-party vendor to assist him with understanding where to press start on the computer. To not be afraid to click on the buttons, to not be afraid to explore and how to access the app. And once we were able to build up that confidence, as an employee, he was better than ready to take on the world, pretty much. He had a brand new perspective on life, on work, and he saw how he, as old as, not old in a bad way, but as experienced as he was in the field, this old dog was able to learn new tricks. Had we not addressed it that way, he could have either resigned, we would have lost the talent. He could have been a sour grape in the bunch of grapes. He could have made things much worse than it needed to be. So addressing the WIFM, making sure that individuals understand how they're going to be impacted and what you as a leader, what you're going to do about it. It's not just the employee. They have a part to play, but you also have a responsibility.
This is the part I believe that leaders get wrong. When we identify that individual or those individuals who seem to be incapable, right? You are going to take them from what they've been accustomed to for the last 30 years, 15 years, 5 years, and introduce something tomorrow radically.
Right away.
That you yourself may not fully understand as the leader. You may understand why it's necessary to do so, but you may be struggling with the how and the when and the why as well. What happens when those leaders make the wrong decision to X that employee, to ostracize him, to miscategorize him, to diminish what he or she actually can do? Because the truth of the matter is, Liz, that institutional knowledge means a great deal to the success of that change. And if that person is going to go away with 30 years, 25 years of real, actual experience and knowledge, and a system is expected to just make that go away and make that better, replace it, it's not gonna work. What happens, why do leaders, do you think, rush so hard to just, man, he ain't making no sense, let's get rid of him?
A part of it is because they themselves are uncomfortable with the change.
Talk about that, Liz.
You find some leaders are in positions when they're able to perform in one area, and then you thrust them into another area or give them another responsibility, and that confidence level dips. And they may take on a persona where anything that gets in the way, anything that's not doing exactly as I want it to do, anything that's causing some resistance or challenge for me, I ain't got time for that, I gotta get over here. So a lot of times there's a level of self-awareness and a checking of what your intentions are, what your goals are, what you doing, what's your behavior as you respond to the change. This is where leaders need to pay a closer attention, even before now. You try to go tell somebody else what to do.
This is so important because I think if we really get to the nitty-gritty, leaders that are insecure will take full umbrage and try to protect themselves versus really navigating what this change is supposed to accomplish. That whiff from that what's in it for me moment is so very important to what's going to happen and how this change actually lands in the organization. Because the plan to have the change orchestrated, the plan to go live on so-and-so date means nothing, as you said at the beginning, if it is that the people that's going to make this thing come to life either don't believe in it or don't get behind it. When we come back from our break, we're going to talk about some of the things that really stifle how change management takes shape. We're going to cover these, what we call the 5 key things that every leader must do to lead successful change. I want our leaders to really lean into this conversation, because you right now yourself as a leader may be going through something, maybe navigating a specific change, maybe going through change yourself. And you need to understand that these things are going to help you to really be successful as you move through and toward this change. Because if you do not, you risk absolute and utter catastrophe. So stay close, get your notepads, text a friend, let them know what's going on. We are talking about Change Management 101. You are in class, ladies and gentlemen. Stay close, your breakthrough is behind this break.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all three. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Welcome back to the show, You Change Agent You. Liz, we are having such a good time in this conversation right now because I believe that people are already starting to elevate their thinking around change management. But Liz, if we really keep it 100% tonight, right? Many leaders mismanage the opportunity to lead through change. And it's because many of them don't really understand what these 5 key components of change management really are, right? And those 5 would be considered casting the vision boldly. Right? You can't be afraid to say what's going to happen, where we're going next, right? Securing the right champions. We're going to come back to that in a second. The people in your organization who we would consider gangsters. Those people who have all the influence, whether positive or negative, right? We're talking about identifying and communicating relentlessly. You can't let up on your communication strategy, and then creating quick wins. Celebrating things when they start to go right. And lastly, measure, adjust, and sustain. Liz, of these 5 key components of this change management model, what do you think is the one that most leaders get the most wrong?
Communicating relentlessly. Sometimes leaders feel that once we've said it once, that's good enough. Well, I told you, I sent you an email,
put it on the bulletin board.
It's there. It's up to you to go and figure it out. Or stay tuned. It's a missed opportunity, Ahmad, because as people, we need reinforced communication. Don't tell me just once. You need to show me what you mean. You know, in our HR lingo, we say model the behavior.
Model the behavior.
In simplest terms, though, we need to have regular conversations and different ways that we're having the conversations. So yes, the documents of the email is important. The bulletin board is important. But get down to where that team member is and talk to them. More importantly, listen to them. communicating change is not a one-way street.
Yes.
And if you want it to land effectively and you want to be most successful, it can't just be top-down. You need to have a bottom-up approach. And it needs to be in various modes. So if it's the feedback, is it a survey? Is it a focus group? Is it the email? Is it the managing director coming in and having a conversation? Or better yet, as you alluded to, those influencers being able to come and relay the message. So the biggest opportunity where I think leaders miss is not communicating relentlessly, and we underestimate the importance of that.
Relentless communication.
Yes.
I think, and the language there is intentional, because you can communicate. You can even communicate effectively. But if it is that people forgot, people allowed their fears, those thoughts that come into their mind after they've been given this mandate to report to so-and-so unit tomorrow. Tomorrow? This happened on a Thursday afternoon.
You had plans for the weekend.
Like,
and Monday.
Life ruined in my mind, you know, essentially, right? But when you think about this relentless communication, saying it in different ways, speaking the language of the audience, you get the privilege of serving. Because you can have that high communication, effective, Miss, what this mean for me? I can be able to pay my children's school fee on Monday. Will I be able to pay this mortgage next week, Tuesday? Can I get my lashes redone next week?
Please.
Will I be able to live my life based on the change that you've been, you're communicating to what's gonna happen next week, next month, next year. What happens though, Liz, when we find those champions and we underutilize and underestimate them? Because you have these people in your organization that are very vocal, very influential, and they either on your team or not. What happens when, because many leaders avoid the gangsters in their organization, Liz.
They're scared.
This man too troublesome, she always got something to say. They ignore them, they avoid them, and in most cases they typecast them. But it's those individuals that they really lean in that will help them to navigate this change most successfully. Talk to the leader right now, Liz, who is envisioning, who can see their gangster in their mind right now. How do they engage them?
I see the gangster.
Yes.
I see him and her.
Yes.
And they're confident and they're bold and they dare you.
They dare you.
To ruffle their feathers.
Try me.
Try me.
Yeah, yeah.
What you do is you use that energy and you harness that for what you need.
Yes.
You sit them down, get them a little something to drink, a little, you know, treat them nicely.
Starbucks something.
Something, make them feel good. Make them feel seen. And you have the conversation. Listen, Ahmad, I see what you've been doing. I want you to have a heads up on what's coming down the pipeline. Let me show you how this go. Let me show you how you're going to be impacted. Tell me what you think about this.
Yes, yes.
Reel them in and use them as your champion for the change. Allow them to be the mouthpiece and address their concerns.
Yes.
Because they have the pulse more than you do.
Absolutely.
They know what's going down.
They are fully aware, Liz.
They know what the team members feeling. They know what the sensitive spots are. They know where the team is confident. Use that information and turn that gangster into your change champion.
Absolutely. I think what we focus on, Liz, is the fact that the gangster is emboldened, is very brave, is very brazen, and will challenge you at every chance they get. But you use two words. You said energy and a harness. Use that energy, right? Don't diminish the energy. Don't downcast the energy. Don't underestimate the energy. Don't typecast it as difficulty. Or he just is not agreeable. First of all, everyone, Liz, wants to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to know how they're doing. Am I doing the right thing? Am I going in the right direction? But you said to use that energy and harness what that valuable insight is. A change expert will not give you the valuable feedback that person will bring you, because he can tell you, look here, boss.
Thank fly.
End that right now. Because the money you spend on that, you get out to us for bonus, because these people are on your run. Talk about what happens when leaders miss this step. They have communicated the change in their minds at their big round table, and they've come up with their fancy ChatGPT generated email, because they want it to sound like a human being. They want it to be all personable and all this stuff. But the people saying, y'all got to be kidding me. Why is that step so important? Why is doing it before the change is unleashed important versus doing it afterwards?
Good question, Ahmad. There are 3 stages to managing change effectively.
Talk about that.
The first step is preparing for the change. And in this preparation step is where you reeling in those gangsters before you press play.
Beforehand.
You are assessing now, what are the things that may go left? What are who are the key resistors? What's going to make this difficult for me? Let's find out what they are, why they are, and how do we get ahead of that? How do we respond to them? Because if we don't, which is to your question, then when we get now to managing the change, or implementing the change, we can have issues. It can be difficult.
And big time issues too.
Big issues. Because you don't need team members fighting against you when they ain't sure about what's really going on.
They don't even know what they're fighting for.
They don't even know what they're fighting for. All they know is they're about to be uncomfortable, and nobody wants to be uncomfortable.
And anyone feeling their back against the wall is going to come out fighting.
Absolutely. Defensive.
Whether the threat is real or not, the fact is, wait a minute now, something happened in here. Just feel like you're trying to take my money in my pocket. Miss, fire on your change. We ain't doing that today.
You got it.
Wow.
You got it. So as a leader now, you want to take the initiative. You want to be strategic in your approach. You want to use all of those leadership skills and those soft skills, including your emotional intelligence now, to get ahead of what you anticipate may be a major problem coming down the future.
Absolutely. When we think of that first key step, Liz, casting the vision boldly. People can misunderstand what boldly means. I said what I said, take it or leave it. It's not what we mean by casting the vision boldly. What we're saying though is, if you seem like you're stammering with your vision, how do I now get behind your vision?
That's right.
Talk about how important it is for the leaders to actually know, be aware of, be intimate with what this change is supposed to result in and how we're going to get there.
That's right. In order for a leader to be successful in managing that change, they first have to be okay with the change.
Wow.
And you find that many leaders are not okay.
The big email coming out from corporate.
Yeah, and they just pass it on. So they say they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So they pass it to the next person. You deal with it.
Yeah.
You figure it out. Just make sure at the end of the day, I get what I want.
So and so. We say things like corporate say.
Yes.
They say head office say.
Yes, we remove ourselves from the change that needs to take place. We separate ourselves from the leadership responsibility that we have in order to implement this change. That's not the way to be successful.
Absolutely not.
As the leader, we need to get to the root of why we may feel uncomfortable. And we need to answer those questions for ourselves in order for us to be authentic in forwarding and managing this change. So we're asking, why does it got to happen again? Why does this need to happen now? What does this have to do with me? Well, how is this supposed to happen? Well, let me think about it.
Yes.
So even before the managers or the leaders get to affecting change with the individual, they themselves need to wrap their minds, their hearts around it.
A change.
I said hearts, Ahmad. Some may say heart, but what the heart got to do with this? The heart is involved because people are involved.
Wow, Liz.
As a leader, we are connecting with people. AI is here to stay.
Yes,
you could put anything in ChatGPT.
Yes,
that could spit out your plan, your process, your resource allocation, the budget. That could give you full details.
Full details.
That's not where you're going to be successful and impactful. As a leader, you are impactful when you connect with your team members, you establish trust, and they follow you.
They follow you willingly.
Follow you willingly.
Not by choice, I mean, not by force, not by, they feel some kind of ultimatum is now at play. The leader, Liz, that is unaware of why this change is necessary, is uncomfortable with this change, is uncertain about this change, does not see themselves in this new reality. Let's talk to them for a moment, because even though they're charged with leading this change, they somehow feel detached from it. What does he or she do? What happens when the leader realizes, you know what? I don't see myself in this, I don't see myself on the other side of this change. How do they start to now level set the conversation with themselves and their leaders to realize that, you know what, once this is done, or even while this is going on, I take my hat out of the ring here because this doesn't feel like this belongs to me. How do you deal with that?
Sure. There are two steps you need to take. The first is assess your intentions and why you feel uncomfortable. Have that honest conversation. Why do I feel this way? What am I afraid of? Have I been overcompensating for something? Do I have imposter syndrome? Something wrong with me?
Yes.
You have to check yourself first as a leader. So that when you go to the next step, which is now communicating with your leader or whomever you got the directive from, you're able to ask questions in a direct and not subjective but objective manner.
You remove the feeling from it, even though there's an emotional attachment to the question and the conversation.
Yes, because you've checked your feelings.
Absolutely. It's so important that you understand as the leader that you're not going to be able to effectively lead this change if you're not, first of all, committed to it yourself. If you don't, first of all, understand where the change is coming from, why it's necessary, where it will result in, where it will lead us. You as the leader cannot be afraid to be relentlessly vulnerable. It's such a superpower when you can tap into the fact that, you know what, I feel uneasy about this, I'm uncertain about this, I don't know where I fit in this. If those questions that Liz just asked are in your mind, if you feel like, you know what, they're trying to get rid of me, and don't fall prey to the rabbit hole of what ifs and what ifs and what ifs. Ask real questions. The right leaders, real leaders, ask the right questions.
Right.
And so when you feel uncertain, seek clarity.
That's right.
Because now when you're clear, you can understand why, what, who, when, and how, and then what again. Because if you don't lean into that vulnerability, lean into that uncertainty, and challenge it, ask the right questions. What does this mean? When will this take place? Who's going to be impacted? Which team members are going to be most impacted by this initiative? What will this mean for our Family Island team, for our global team, for our so-and-so team? What will our customers say? What is our communication strategy? All of these questions are questions you should be asking so that when you now get faced with these questions, you can give intelligent, thoughtful responses to your team so that you're not felt like your pants are at your waist, at your ankles. You want to be fully prepared as much as possible, which means you must ask the right questions. Liz, when we come back from our next break, we're going to talk about change fatigue. Because Liz, if we really, really real tonight, listen, man, every Monday is something different in some of these organizations. Some leaders are walking backwards and forwards at the same time. So when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, stay close because we're going to be talking about what change fatigue really, really is. What happens when you're so tired? You're tired being tired. Stay close, we'll be right back.
New stuffed crust cheddar flavor has a taste you'll enjoy.
Outside and inside.
With a delicious stuffed crust covered in irresistible cheddar flavor. Come and try the new stuffed crust cheddar flavor only at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Eden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Eden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'd expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all 3. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
Welcome back to the show. I am certain that by now your notepads are riddled with good notes and good plans for tomorrow. But Liz, I want to shift gears for a moment. So many organizations are naturally, because of the way the world is moving and going and the pace is moving, change is happening constantly. It's constantly something else to get ahead of, to be aware of. What is change fatigue, and how does it really impact an organization and a leader's ability to really navigate change?
Sure. Change fatigue is simply being sick and tired of all of the changes and not being able to move forward, because before you move forward, you got to move backward, and before you move backward, you got to move right, and before you go right. So fatigue sets in when there's no clear path on how we're moving forward, even if we're moving forward. It sets in when we don't see or know how what we're doing every single day is actually moving the needle. What are we doing? When that clarity is absent, man, I'm tired. This is a waste of time. I ain't feeling this. I don't know what's going on. And naturally, when you burn so much energy, you go in 100 miles per hour to meet all of these demands. And again, you don't feel or know where you're going. Naturally, you're going to become wary, and you may even become disinterested in any future change.
Indeed. that lack of clarity will eventually result in disengagement.
Correct.
Right? Because you have that employee who was initially, we talked about those champions. You know what? We were able to convince and persuade Mary that you're all I on this run. It's making good sense. I can go tell the children what is what.
Yes.
I don't mean to call you a child if you're a big grown adult, but you understand my perspective, right? Mary and Saul, them, they behind this movement. Now they're going to take this to the next level. But all of a sudden, or eventually, Mary them realized, wait now, this ain't sense. This ain't make it. We're not going anywhere with any real direction. Every time we turn around, there's something different. What happens when the organization avoids the conversation that needs to happen in those moments and continue to keep pushing forward and result, demand, is that your employees become less and less interested, more and more disengaged. They check out. They say, you know what? You all better just figure this out. Let me know when I get paid.
That's right.
As long as my money ain't affected by this rubbish you're dealing with here, I'm just gonna do what I need to do and keep it moving. Why is that so dangerous? To not just that change, but the reality after that change has been implemented.
Because it's a slippery slope, Ahmad. You don't know at which point your team members may be when you present that change in the first place. So if you have team members who are already disgruntled, uncertain, not sure about what's coming down the pipeline, feeling some type of way about you as a leader, feeling some type of way about the organization, things are not settled. And then you pile on change after change after change after change, you may break them and lose them altogether. And once a disengaged employee is lost, they've mentally checked out, ain't no coming back with the same vim and vigor as we say in our colloquialism.
They might be able to check back in for a minute, but the real zeal is lost.
It's lost.
Because you've now confused me, you frustrated me, you have told me, you have shown me that I don't really matter in this change.
And I don't trust you anymore.
I don't trust you, because you lie.
You lie.
Monday you tell me everything cool. Wednesday, hold on now, wait a minute. Friday, next week, man, what's going on here?
You using me and into that.
I feel like I'm a cog in your whole game of whatever you're trying to accomplish, especially when from the onset that change was miscommunicated or not effectively communicated.
I find that out through the grapevine.
I was off on vacation. They WhatsApp me and tell me if I see this email come out, I wasn't even on the email. All of these things now affect people in the wrong way. If we go back to that example, Liz, when I was told on Thursday afternoon that the next day I was supposed to report at so-and-so meeting. People started to call my phone left, right, and center. You hear what? Listen, I have no answer.
The grapevine is real.
I have no answer. I just want us to be mindful that change is usually good. It's usually uncomfortable. So I'm trying my best to sell dreams. I try my best to swing the swingers list. Because ultimately, I have no answers for these team members. But I know, hopefully, I'm praying that all is going to be well. We get to this meeting the next day. I get to the place the next day, not even a meeting, the place the next day, and I see a table about as long as Airport Road with other team members affected by the same change, all looking around like, what is going on here? Somebody comes into the room, and they said there's been a new unit devised, and all of you are going to be a part of this unit. And starting Monday, you're going to have these customers to call, and that customer to call. Say what? Pardon me? What unit? I didn't sign. I don't want to be. So now, on top of all the things that I was thinking over the weekend, I'm coming into this place on Monday. The team members are coming into this place on Monday, whether they are checked in or not. Something has changed about the way they're going to receive and respond to this component of this change management process. Let me think, Liz, about how and why it's so important that when the change fatigue sets in, or when people really check out, they start to get rebellious now. It's not so much resistance. It's more so rebellion. It's more so, I'm going to now sabotage this process.
I can show you.
I'm telling customers, try please, what to do, don't trouble that, don't bother with that. How does the leader now come back from that? Is there an opportunity to come back?
There's always an opportunity to do right. And as the leader of integrity, it is your responsibility to do right. So you first acknowledge a mistake was made. You call that team member in once you broaden your shoulders and you've built up your chest and you make sure you're in the right place. And you say, listen, man, I realized that we skipped a step. We started out of the gate in a way that allowed us to go down a path that we're really trying to go down. Let's reset. Let's restart. Here's what's going down. This is what we're trying to do, and we need you now to be an active part of this in order for this to be successful. What do we need to do to make things better? As they say, humble yourself.
Yes, eat that humble pie and calm right down. One of the things that I've learned in this whole change management scape of business, Liz, when I worked in another organization, we were going to move from bi-weekly, from weekly pay to bi-weekly pay. Right? This was in an industry that is very well known in our country, and people continue to live to this day, paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. So when you're telling me, as an individual, whether I have enough money or not is not your business, Mr. Boss Man. The fact is, that's my money. And so now we're saying to these employees, we're going to be moving from what you've been accustomed to for the entire time you were working here, to move into a bi-weekly pay cycle. We wanted to make this change in September of that year. We communicated the change in March. About 6 to 7 months out from the change. We had financial institutions come into the organization to talk to people. We had counselors come in, psychologists come in. We had the debtors that our employees were indebted to come in to help them to understand, we are going to work with you. We had landlords come in and talk to the staff about, listen, this is a change that's going to be inevitable. What we need to do is help you to understand how you can now just transition from a weekly pay to a bi-weekly pay, and what that means for you to manage your expenses, to manage your budget, to manage your money. Did it make every single human on that property come around? No. But it made people realize, you know what? From July, I could plan my summer, I could plan my back to school, I could plan my Christmas, because I realized now that I'm going to be paid in a different cycle than I've been accustomed to all of my adult life working in this organization. That change took place with little to no hiccup, because we took the time to educate the team months and months in advance. That conversation was held from the previous year in the budget cycle to say, you know what, it's costing us too much money to pay weekly, we got to move to bi-weekly. What we need to do? Yeah. What we did was, we call them gangsters from the following previous year. Come. What they can do if we tell them we pay and moving to bi-weekly. Boss, you're gonna have a big fight, they can quit, Man, real talk, calm down. Yeah. Tell us how they're going to respond to this change. What do you think is going to be the worst thing that can happen? And then we started to ask questions around the property. If we were to move to a bi-weekly pay cycle, how do you think it can affect you in your situation? People became more receptive to, more prepared for the change, because they were brought in really, really early. We let them know, your feedback will not delay our decision to transition to bi-weekly pay. Yes. This is happening. Yes. So whether you feel good about it or not, ma'am, sir, we respect that feeling, but we want you to know it will not alter our process or our plans. That made that process so much easier, Liz. But so many leaders misunderstand, they mismanage, and they underestimate the opportunity to do just that, to engage, to talk, to tap into those champions. That's right. If you were to give a leader right now listening, Liz, who may be at the brink of transition or change, or right now in the middle of that change, what is the one bit of advice you would give them right now to navigate that thing successfully?
Be consistent. Be consistent. Remember why you're making the change. Remember who is impacted by the change, and be consistent in communicating throughout the entire process. Once you are sure about yourself and what's supposed to happen, you've identified your change champions who can assist you with communicating that message. Stay consistent. Stay consistent. Because the second you fall off, my friend, I want you to know.
Once that ball fumble, that's it.
You lose momentum, and you don't want to lose momentum.
So many leaders, as we bring this to a quick close, Liz, so many leaders focus on morale versus momentum when it comes to change management. And I try my best to let leaders know morale is fleeing. Right. The pizza party only lasts for a little while, but that momentum, planes don't need hope to take off. Planes need momentum to take off. So you need change momentum. You need momentum makers in your organization that's going to help you to take this thing to the next level. Talk to the leader very quickly, Liz, about understanding that momentum is not nice to have. It is a requirement. It is a necessity. Without it, what's going to happen is
your change falls apart.
Wow.
The car stops moving. The train stops on the tracks. You run out of gas. The momentum is what's going to allow the change to endure the process of a journey. See, change looks at the people side of transition. You know, you have the process side, you have your project management team. They make sure all of your resources are allocated. They have their responsibility. But effective change management considers now, how much gas do we need for this journey? What do we need to have for snacks? What do we need to have, at least a hypothetical or proverbial snacks? What do we need to do to make sure that everyone who's in this caravan, they are able to stay along with us for the journey, for the ride, and they can help us get to where we want to get to. When you lose that momentum and the train stop, you set yourself back, and you have to exert even more effort in order to get to where you were and even to continue to push the train forward. In change management terms, we call it establishing the drumbeat. The drumbeat is what is used to ensure that you have regular communication. You have top down, bottom up, left to the inside, right to the inside, and outside. And when you have multiple ways of communicating to make sure everyone's marching to the same tune, they understand what is the tune, the why, the how, the who, the with them, you're able to keep the drumbeat and the momentum for your change project.
This drumbeat, Liz, this component of understanding why, what, when, who, what again. When you find that the drumbeat is off, when you find that somebody is, it's a pitter-patter, but somebody not going, or somebody going, you talked about the effectiveness of the communication strategies, understanding that you can't do one way. Why is it so important to diversify how we communicate to these teams? Talk about that for a moment, because I think we underestimate that because change is inevitable and change is happening no matter what you say or do or feel, I don't have to make sure you understand it or get it. Why is that so important to make sure that you're speaking to your audience in different ways, in different perspectives, that sort of thing?
Yeah, that's important because you want your change to be sustainable. You don't want a one-hit wonder, and you want to be able to lay the foundation to build on the changes that you've made. When you take a strategic approach to change management, you're making sure that your long-term goals are aligned with your short-term goals, which are aligned with your immediate in front of you change initiatives that need to happen. So diversifying your communication strategies, make sure that everybody who's on your team, they're seen, they're heard, and they're a part of the gang. They are on board and they're engaged and able to communicate when, hold on, you're going too fast, or hold on, you're going too slow. You're able to keep a pulse on where your team members are. Remember now, change management is about making sure the people are where they need to be in order for them to get to where you want them to go. Ultimately, as a leader, it is your responsibility to set the tone, if you use a musical reference, to establish that drum beat, and to say how fast is too fast or how slow is too slow. And then to be flexible enough now to slow down reasonably.
When necessary.
When necessary. If your tire need to change, don't speed along with your flat tire, you're going to burst up your rim. Take a pause, slow down, get your the NASCAR fast people to quickly change your tire, but acknowledge the tire is flat. Acknowledge when team members are offbeat. Acknowledge when someone needs something that you didn't anticipate. Acknowledge those gangsters now who are going to give you insight and information to make sure you don't stumble, you don't stop, that momentum keeps going.
What you're talking about, Liz, is emotional intelligence. It's being fully aware that something is off, somebody is offbeat, somebody is using a symbol when they're supposed to be using a triangle, somebody is doing something that doesn't feel quite right. Somebody has raised their hand and said, hold on now. Initially we said A was in it for me, now we switched to C and Q. I'm not sure I understand how, what, and why. As the leader, it is your responsibility to successfully communicate, effectively communicate what, when, why, how, what, when, why, how, what, when, why. Again. You cannot give up. You can't let up. You can't assume that because Mary got it, Saul got it too.
That's right.
You need to ensure that your team members are fully aware, fully equipped, and through the entirety of the journey. Because it is a journey, not a destination. And success, if done right, is going to leave clues. You cannot go through this level of change, no matter how small or magnanimous that change is, and not be prepared to have some fallout. Some miscommunication, somebody saying, wait, now I ain't on this run, you all need to get from around me with this foolishness. When you find yourself as the leader in those moments, it's important that you're able to tap into your team to recognize those signs, speak to those signs, and have the team members in place to result, to refresh, to re-level set the conversation and the momentum. I believe, Liz, this conversation has been transformative. I believe we've helped someone right now understand what it means to really, really change, to navigate change successfully. If you, Liz, were right now starting something new, taking on a new change, taking on something that felt uncertain, something that felt brand new, what is the one thing, the single most important thing you would do as you leapt into that change?
Trust.
Trust. Trust who? Trust what?
Trust your source. Trust where you get your momentum and your energy from. Trust the process. Trust your intentions. Without that, you'll be flailing all around the place. But ensure that you're grounded so that whatever comes your way, you are equipped and able to respond appropriately.
Yes. On that note, Liz, it's time for a break. We're going to take a quick break here as we come to the end of our segment this evening and talking about Change Management 101. Ladies and gentlemen, I am certain that Benayo on your second notebook. Stay close, come right back, don't go nowhere, go to the bathroom quick, and come right back because this conversation continues when we return. Thank you so much and stay close.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say,
welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the national report. I'm your national anchor, Mukesh Lopinder.
I'll be coming for y'all again.
Are you ready for the hardest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout, Sundays on the ZNS Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Liz, and our final question for you tonight. In all your experience, in all your years of doing this and doing this successfully, give us a really good and quick example of what change management looks like when it's been successful.
Sure. Successful change management looks like you have buy-in from the top, you have buy-in from the bottom, you have alignment across the organization. And as you move forward along that change journey, all players have a say and they're marching to the same beat. They're able to give their perspectives, even though it may be different, but they're heard, they're seen, and you're able to respond quickly, increasing your change for the organization.
Absolutely. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been quite the episode. What a conversation, what a masterclass indeed. I don't know about you, but I feel like we didn't just talk about change tonight, we really ran that thing down. Let's take a breath right here, because for a lot of you, this wasn't just another leadership lesson. This was a mirror. Some of you are right in the middle of a major change, a restructure, a rebrand, a shift in direction, a new role, a new leader, or maybe the change is personal. Maybe it's a season of growth, a season of grief, or a season of letting go. I want you to know that we here at the Rundown on Leadership see you. This is why we do this on this show. And here's what I want you to hear from me tonight. Not as a host, not as a coach, but as a fellow leader on the battlefield. Change is supposed to stretch you, but it's not supposed to break you. We talked tonight about how to cast vision, how to communicate clearly, how to gain buy-in, how to pace your progress, and how to handle resistance, not with panic, but with poise. But can I give you one more secret? None of that works unless you lead you first. You can't help your team transition if you're stuck in fear. You can't drive alignment if your heart is still clinging to the old way. You cannot talk about the future with conviction if you're doubting your own ability to make it there. Change doesn't just challenge your strategy, it confronts your identity. But here is the good news, ladies and gentlemen. You just got certified in Change Management 101. You were born for this, you were called to this, you were not in the season by accident. And the message tonight is that you don't have to walk it alone. You've now got the blueprint. The next move belongs to you. Do not let this show be just another good show that sits on the shelf of your memory. Turn what you heard tonight into action. Right, Ginks, right now. Revisit your vision, rally your champions, start over-communicating on purpose. And don't forget, quick wins aren't just vanity metrics. They are faith builders for your people. So here's my final word tonight. Don't just manage change, master it. Own it, lead it, shape it, and let it transform you just as much as it transforms your team. A very special thank you to our brilliant guest, my friend and change management expert, Elizabeth Longley, for dropping gem after gem after gem. And I want to thank you, the real MVPs, for tuning in, sharing and growing right along with us. Liz, right now there's a leader watching, has more clarity, but still needs more guidance. How can they reach out to you if they want expert help?
Sure. Reach me on LinkedIn. You can find Elizabeth Longley, or even Google Pivotal, pivot-l.com. We are available for you.
Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. This has been The Night Show. Our home. Please, please, please do not take this for granted. Share with us, DM us if you have any thoughts, any questions. If you know someone that's navigating change right now, share this link with them. Tell them all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rundown on Leadership. And should the Lord tarry next week, we will see you again, same time, same place, where we help good leaders become great ones and great leaders leave legacy. Don't forget to tune into ZNS News tonight at 11 p.m., where we have the final broadcast on all things happening in news. This is Amadou Shah Thompson for the Rundown on Leadership. Everyone, have a great evening and God bless.
Fort Montague, I'm Opal Roach. This is ZNS.
It's time for Focus Forward, sponsored by Invest Grand Bahama. It's Grand Bahama's best talk